will retweet it.
That's right. His mom retweets and favorites everything that mentions Firebat. Let's go ahead and take a look at match number 1 here, though. So I mentioned CompLexity versus Misfits. CompLexity won last year. Now, over the course of the entire tournament, they had exactly a 50% game win rate.
Okay.
But the key to that is taking all your matches. They won a lot of final games.
Yeah, and that's important. In the final game, you know, you can say, like, oh, well, they 50% every single game, so they just got lucky. But it's all about the lineup. It's all about the setup to building towards that final game. Because it's last year's standing, so you get the opportunity to counterpick your opponent's deck. So in theory, if you lose a game, you should be able to counterpick correctly and have a deck prepared for what they are playing, answer it swiftly, and then proceed on with kind of trading games all the way down to the last game. And CompLexity demonstrated that very well.
Yes, and here's really where all of that starts in the Trinity Series, with all 9 classes represented across both teams. At the start of each match, each team will ban 2 of the opposing team's classes. They will not be available for play. Of the 7 remaining, they then choose 6 of those and bring them to the table. So they will omit one of their own classes. And then with those 6 classes, they'll play a best of 11 match in last year's standing, where the first team to get 6 wins takes the set. And with last year's standing, of course, the deck that wins stays on board, and the deck that loses is out of contention. And there we can see the bans. Priest has been very popular, but the second one is the one that's been open.
Right. The second one has either been Druid or Rogue for all of the teams. Yesterday we saw Tempo Storm go with the Rogue ban, and all the other teams going with the Priest plus Druid ban. But unanimously, every team has banned Priest. So that is the best deck in the format right now, pretty much undisputed by all the pro players.
Yep, and there you see it. Hunter omit from both lineups. And that seems to be somewhat of a consensus as well.
It's becoming the most popular one. But there's been a lot of variance in what teams choose to self-ban. There hasn't really been a self-ban meta established yet. So it's interesting to see, and these are kind of the trendsetters for the league. They're the favorites to win the league, so the things that you're going to see CompLexity do here with their lineup and the things you're going to see Misfits do with their lineup are most likely going to be emulated by the other teams in weeks to come.
And there you can see the pilots. Crane's going to be on Warrior and Mage. Mr. Yugget's going to be on Paladin and Druid, and Tyler's going to be on Warlock and Shaman. Though they'll be piloting the decks, they are working in teams.
Pizza.
So Pilot makes the final decision, but they all get their vote in. And there's George C. They call him the European amnesiac across the pond, and he's a young guy, but a bright mind.
Definitely a bright mind. One of the younger players in the scene. Sometimes has a little bit of an issue with his temper, if you're not really familiar with him, and hates being called amnesiac, so we shouldn't refer to George C as amnesiac as often as we're going to.
Yeah, definitely should not, but I mean, he's got a C at the end of his name, just like amnesiac. And there you can see Stan Sifka is going to be on Mage and Warrior. Pokervac is actually unable to attend this match, so George C is going to be picking up his Rogue, and Stan Sifka will be picking up his Warlock. And then George C, of course, in addition to that, will be piloting his Shaman and his Paladin.
And his pizza.
And his collared shirt, and what looks like a coat to me, with the collar on the outside.
Yeah, what is going on with that coat?
Well, I mean, coat and pizza, that's how European evenings work.
Really?
I think so. I mean, we have a sample size of 1, and so far one of them is
very cultured.
Eating pizza and wearing a coat.
And looks like Tyler's just jamming some Red Bull.
Ooh. Showing off the guns.
Yeah, showing off the guns, too, in his tank top. Tyler was a player that got his start kind of just as a ladder hero. He would grind to #1 legend over hours and hours and hours of streaming ranked play. Sometimes borderline like 20+ hours. Yeah, I think he started out before Hearthstone as a like fashion model or something like that, or a photographer. Well, it's something down that line. So he's like into fashion, and he tries to, you know, utilize the skills he's gained from that in his deck building, I'm sure.
That explains the gold.
That explains the gold, yeah.
Game number 1 underway. Shaman for CompLexity and Misfits. What looks like a very aggressive Murloc Paladin. This is what they piloted to a victory in week number 1, where they had actually no Spike Ridge Steed, and they had teched in 1 copy of Consecration.
And the reasoning behind the no Spike Ridge Steed and the additional Consecration is actually for this matchup. You don't want this matchup still, but it's to try and make this matchup better. The best possible counter to Paladin in most cases, especially Murloc Paladin, is the Evolve Shaman, which runs 2 copies of Devolve. So every time you play Spike Ridge Steed, they devolve it and you lose the game. If they don't know you run Spike Ridge Steed, they're going to save their devolve for Spike Ridge Steed. And if it's just not in your deck, suddenly you're really eliminating the power level of that devolve. So if they continue to not run Spike Ridge Steed or switch it up, they can get a lot of bluff value out of that. So it's a really nice approach to try and round out the counter cues.
You know, something else they could do is just have some lightning starts with their hands as well. Grimscale Chum, Rockpool Hunter, Cold Light Seer, that is a fantastic opener.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. It's still, it's answered pretty okay from Complexity's hand. They're missing the 1-drop currently. You know, a 1-drop will help the Shaman hand be able to contest the board, but they have some of the most important cards, with Jade Claws and Maelstrom Portal being some of the best disruption in the Shaman arsenal against the early Murloc Paladin boards.
Of course, I'm looking at that and wondering if that's on Misfits' mind right now. You know, with with Think from Below and Evolve in hand, if the teams could see each other's hands, I think Misfits is out to a tremendous lead in this one. They would play that Righteous Protector, but they go with the Grimscale Chum. Let's hear Complexity's thoughts on how they want to take the early game.
Oh, okay, now we have some options.
Now I actually kind of like playing the J Claws, because like you don't want to give him, first of all, you don't want to give him Rock Pool on curve. We kill that guy with the J Claws, we summon a 1/1, and then I mean they could have a 3/4 Rock Pool. I guess that's also a problem.
Can we just play Firefly? Our other option is just playing Portal into Jade Claws, double Firefly, but I think I like to get overloaded now. What do you think, Crane?
I think I like the claws as well. They line up like very similarly. The upside to the portal is if we get a 2-attack minion, we can kill a 3/4 guy.
Okay, we gotta go fast though.
Well, I think will be better. So I think we should play the claws.
Okay.
Yeah.
Claws?
Yeah.
Yeah. The buff card is a Murloc, right? Like a top one.
We play to 1-drops, right?
Yeah, should we just play it quick? I think so, right?
Probably.
I think we should just jam them.
Yeah, you can play quicker, it's fine. So
Yeah.
here if we ended the match there.
Yeah.
The first card is a card they capped.
You would never ever keep that hand with a weapon, right? No, that's real bad. That has to be.
Yeah, but we should probably still get rid of the bubble, right?
Yeah, with the 1/1, right? Or
Yeah.
you want to just completely kill it with your weapon as well?
Almost guaranteed that the 2 cards in the hand are 2 Murlocs.
Yeah, I think so too, but I feel like we
kept
should still
chopping
get rid
another
of
one.
the bubble.
You want to save the weapon?
Yeah, I would save the weapon. Just kill it with a 1/1, I would say, and play Firefly.
And then next turn we have like
It's pretty
5
bad
portal.
though if they do the double trade. It takes away.
Then we can just play Firefly into Totem or just stun her, right? Isn't it fine?
Yeah, I think it's just Firefly and bump the guy. I think we save the weapon.
Okay, not.
Like, if they have 4 leaders, they get the trade anyways then.
I don't think I want to hit this.
Do we Hunter or do we Steed?
You get the Hunter should be better, right?
Not Steed, I mean Hunter has to be better, right? I think we just play it.
Take the 1/1. So
And we just play Megasaur next turn, right?
probably.
This game's not really about value, is it? It's more so about just getting a board.
More about getting on the board.
I think we just buff it and do it.
Like if they have portal, then they cannot kill anything with the weapon, so it's fine. And Megasaur should find good value.
We just do it, right?
Hunter here, yeah. The positioning doesn't matter, right?
No, it's irrelevant.
Yeah. So play the Hunter value trade.
I mean, Portal kills our 2/3 as well, right? But we just don't play around, that's just dumb. I mean,
And we are back listening into the team conversation there. It's sounding like George C is having a lot more say this week due to Pokrovak's absence than in the previous week. In week 1, he was really quiet, maybe not as adjusted to the new team, but he's really starting to chime in a little bit more.
Yeah, it's something that was interesting to note was last week, Pokrovak and Stan Sifko were in the same room. So I'm curious how much that really influenced the way that the communication went. You know, when someone's right next to you, you tend to talk to them a lot differently than if they're just over like a communication, like over the phone or over, you know, Discord or Skype, whatever it's going to be. Yeah. The fact that Pokrovak is missing is kind of forcing the two of them to engage a lot more. And George C, you heard him say, I just kind of want to jam him real quick. I just want to play him. Like, that's fun. Last week, George seemed to be like the look for off-the-wall sort of stuff guy.
Right. No, they don't have really the luxury to have a look for the off-the-wall kind of stuff guy with only 2 players.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday as well with Liquid.
Yeah, and we
saw
some consequences for that. But
yeah, I think my opinion would be they seem to struggle a little bit without Dog.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that kind of playful attitude that they have as the 3 of them benefits them and helps them concentrate, actually.
It's kind of weird. Sometimes you need some comic relief in there, man. Sometimes.
I'm not very funny, but I am. Just not like in the way that I'd like to be. Hashtag sad admirable thoughts. Megasaur. Post-attack.
Yeah, post-attack so that you can try and get the Divine Shield. You can maybe get benefits out of stealth and some of the other ones. You're always making the trade anyway, so extra offensive power to help you make that trade is unnecessary.
Yep. Like the call, but complexity. Jade Lightning in hand. They are losing the board a little bit, though. I mean, the Rockpool Hunter has been quite a nuisance thus far.
It's definitely added a lot of value to the table. With 1 Maelstrom Portal gone, the little plants inside the Rockpool Hunter are going to be able to get a bit of spicy value, but not overwhelmingly so. It's going to really depend on Misfits' upcoming draws. Previous weeks, they've cut Spike Ridge Steed, so if they had also cut other kind of higher-end cards, they might just steam out here. Yeah. But let's hear what they're talking about, see their plan for the next few turns.
Tide Caller Seer.
Seer and we value trade, right?
But we Tide Caller Seer value trade, right?
Better than Hero Power.
Because Tide Caller's a 2/4. That's a pretty big difference between a 1/3 and a 2/4. Plus a 2/4 grows into a 3/4. So we lose 2 additional.
It's getting to resource battle.
I mean, yeah, but we're not going to win without
it. And the Tide Caller will simply play next turn, or
I think we should play Tide Caller Seer. Because we can go Hero Power Spellbreak. I mean, we only have 1 steed.
Power mind the Devolve. Because I would definitely Hero Power here.
Move quickly.
In value trade. Yeah, just swing up there. Let's do it. I would value trade 1 too. Oh, no, sorry, never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Take right. Like Claws Hero Power and then do the trade into the 3/2, do the trade into a 1/1 and then evolve.
Yeah, I actually like that too.
So we get to evolve a 1-drop, another 1-drop, and a 3/3 into a 4-drop. Yeah, that seems good.
This is J-Claws trade and Stonehill. That doesn't seem very good to me.
No.
Yeah, he gets way too good trades then, right?
Yeah. The evolve doesn't get better.
I like
So
the set.
Yeah, I mean,
Does he really get good trades though? With the Stonehill?
But if he buffs, he does. He can probably.
Yeah, if he buffs it, he does, I guess.
I think we evolve here. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's kill the 3/2 and a Kep.
Yeah, I actually wanted to kill this 3/2 as well.
Oh, my bad. Oh, shit.
Better against Tarim. Great job, Tyler.
I thought it was like, because he gets 2 plaps, right?
He would have 3 minions, but
So we just silence that. Trade the 3-2. Trade the 2-3. Hero power. Pass.
Let me think.
I agree.
Right.
Your magic shall not save.
Which one do we kill? Beast, right?
The beast.
Hero power, right? So we can't get a good like a. I say you can only take a value trade, but we.
Yeah, obviously hero power. Like now you can set up a steed or like if you set a mega sorry. Get that one.
I mean, I think Tyrion's gonna do work here. Like Consecrate would potentially be a good draw.
Do not fall too much behind.
Yeah. I mean, Blessing of Kings is also good if he can't clear. I mean, if he has Portal here, it's looking pretty messy unless we get Consecrate, or Steed, or Finja.
Okay, like the matchup is really bad and the game is very close, so it's good.
I mean, we can just counter it, right? Pretty efficiently.
Out of my jungle.
Hired gun and thing.
Easy thing.
How cheap this? Yeah.
I mean, it goes to 4, but still, it's if we have 2 of them, then every time we do it, I'm cheap.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
might not
let's
play
do a
Thrall. Next turn we might just hero power.
Sure,
No
I think
problem.
it's thing every time.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
pretty sure.
think
it's
so
thing.
too.
There is little time.
And we should value trade right and kill the Murloc.
You think so? Because then our Stonehill just dies for free.
Brewmaster 4-3 and then weapon into 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. I thought you meant 3-2 into 1-1 with value trade.
I mean,
I was
I
like,
think we can all agree that the breaker there has to get turned by the 3.
yeah.
It is important to adequately communicate what you mean by trade.
Right, that is true. There's a lot of different ways you can make trades, especially with that many minions on the table. So,
I mean, just alone with their 2 attacks, they had 8 different combinations of attacks they could make.
that's quite a few.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to note, alongside the communication issue that you're presenting, well, not really issue, but comment, is George C. really does seem like he's in a bit of a hurry. He's getting kind of impatient with some of the turns.
That's why he's dressed up.
Maybe he's got somewhere to go.
He's going on a date.
A date?
That's why he's playing so fast.
Okay.
He could just be like fed up with this thinking nonsense too.
Well, no, I'm sure he definitely is putting as much thought, but some of the turns from the Paladin, when you have 1 or 2 cards in your hand, seem very obvious.
Yeah, they've had some very weak turns.
Very, like, just there's only like one possible play, really, but...
play the most stuff.
You can kind of see a little bit of debate there, because George C. wants to just be like, all right, I know the game plan, let's just do it. And Stan Sifka wants to be like a little bit slower and just double-check everything. So
A lot of that just comes, I think, to approach too. With Stan Sifka, there's always that extra edge he's looking for.
I mean, I just think it's more, you can see this a lot in the difference, like the age gap oftentimes. I don't want to say like every time, but I think that's a definite trend, is that some of the newer, or some of the younger players in Hearthstone pro scene tend to play faster.
Well, again, to touch on that, I think Stan Sifka, the reason he takes his time is because he's looking for that little bit of extra edge.
Right. You can find
in every
something.
spot. He never wants to give any information away, and he never wants to withhold information. He wants everything to feel an even keel so that he can make the most of it. But that Earth Elemental off the Thrall is about as good as it gets. Tyrion comes down, but CompLexity's hand is so good. 2 thing from below is the Bloodlust, the Devolve, Thrall's online.
I mean, it's still not over yet, because all the Paladin really needs is just Gentle Megasaur or one of their high-impact cards off the top to really make something happen. But let's hear what CompLexity's thinking about.
Wait, what is he thinking about? What the heck? Oh, he's thinking about playing around Portal? But he should know that we don't have Portal.
It's a thing.
Interesting.
Okay.
So we probably devolve this, right?
I think so.
Yeah. We start with devolve?
Yeah, because the 1-drop becomes a 0-drop.
Yeah.
That's
We don't
true.
care for those.
Is mine alone.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
worse. Oh, it's the same. I mean, the skill drops.
Value trade the Earthhelly and then evolve it? That seems freaking nuts, right?
Yeah, and we should kill the 1/1s too, because of Sunkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it.
The elements are silent.
Okay.
Must be chosen.
6 mana. I don't think it changes anything.
Yeah, do it.
Do I go face?
No.
I would trade. Yeah. Like, if Power doesn't have board control, they can't do much.
Yeah, they can do anything.
Play Consecrate as well. I don't want to give them a cons plus a buff there and clear the entire board. Or rather, they could play cons.
They're playing Troll. Make the notes.
I think.
I would trade the 2-1 and 2, the 2-2, I mean, Hydrogalist.
Wouldn't you trade it into the 3-1 though?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I would do that.
Okay.
Get down!
I would just try to get rid of his board, right?
I don't think you need to give up your 6 drop. I kind of like...
Face and then evolve it and then value trade the thing from below into the war leader and then we just trade. So I'll just at the end.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So value trade with the 5-5 into the 3-3. The 2-1 goes into the 2-2, and then 5-1 goes face, and we evolve that.
Yeah. We should maybe evolve first, because if he gets Baron again.
Oh, okay, yeah. So evolve this first. And then I can play a 5 and a 2.
Yeah.
Ooh. Box my guys rather than the taunt.
They should be dead.
Yeah.
They need to rip Terram here, right? That's the only thing.
Be right back.
Okay.
Very decisive game one from CompLexity there. But that's sometimes what you expect in that matchup. Shaman typically has a significant edge versus aggressive decks that require board synergy, and that's part of what made it such a force.
Right. If you had to say the best matchups for Shaman in order, I think the first is aggressive Murloc Paladin. The second is mid-range Murloc Paladin. The third is Corpse Taker Murloc Paladin. The fourth would probably be Control Paladin.
A lot of Paladins in there.
Yeah.
That wasn't always the case either. Paladin used to really beat up on Shaman before Shaman started getting so many strong control tools.
Yeah, Devolve, Maelstrom Portal really helped bring that matchup together. And even as the Jade package, that being introduced, really helped make the Shaman removal tools just crazy good against aggressive decks.
Yeah, back in the day, it was I make 1/1s and you make 0/2s, so 1/1s win.
Right.
Good old days.
Before anyone even played Shaman.
Yeah, so Stan Sifka and George C. going to have to figure something out. I want to remind everyone that Pokrivok was unable to attend the match, and so Stan Sifka will be on his Warlock, and George C. will be on his Rogue for this week. They are in the same spot that Team Liquid was, with Dog unable to attend yesterday.
And they're down 0-1 in the series, which is a slight disadvantage, but that does come with the ability to counter-Q their opponent's deck. So the Shaman is going to stay up for CompLexity, and we are going to see Misfits' best answer to the Shaman, or what they believe is the best answer to help them line up their decks accordingly throughout the rest of the series.
And what we've seen from Misfits thus far is that they have tended to build a lineup that does exactly that, which is there are a lot of counters across the board, and they're looking to hard counter things and then eventually swing an unfavorable matchup. Is kind of what it looked like in week number 1, and they did that successfully. Eventually, Paladin just racked up wins. I mean, that was like the way it went for every single team last week, was that Paladin was their big talking point, and Paladin's gone in game number 1 here.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate to lose such a powerful deck in the format so quickly. Paladin being extremely solid with 2 bans happening. So it's not like a tier 1 class on ladder, I'd say, but with 2 classes removed, suddenly it's looking pretty good. So that being out of the way is kind of a bummer. Likely, Misfits will come at this with the Warlock. Warlock is crazy favored against Shaman.
Yeah, so many board clears available. Shaman does sit in the camp with many other aggressive decks where they require board synergy. in order to really get going. But as we've seen in the past, Warlock has been overcome by a lot of aggressive matchups in Trinity Series so far. A lot of times it's just failed to have a second board clear, or they have their big power spikes with just lots of buffs, and Shaman always has Doppelgangster Evolve to keep that pressure high.
If Doppelgangster Evolve happens on turn 6, it can be really difficult for the Warlock to win because twisting doesn't happen until 8. So waiting 2 turns with those 6 traps on the field to get your big board clear is not okay.
And mind you, that's if you're playing Twisting Nether.
Right. Well, I expect them to be playing Twisting Nether, but I'm not completely sure because typically speaking...
They didn't have it last week, I don't think.
Really? They were playing the Hellfire variant?
I believe so, yeah.
Interesting. They were the guys that originally made the Twisting Nether Prince build.
Well, you know, Sivka likes to change it up a lot.
He loves changing it up.
That guy is quite a deck builder.
He's an insane deck builder. I remember back in 2015 in Bucharest, Romania, I was playing against Stan Sivka in a tournament where you could switch all of your decks between every single round. And so there was a 2-hour break before the finals, and I'm playing Sivka in the finals, right? So I'm trying to gather any information I can to get an edge on my opponent. So I talked to all of his previous opponents, talked to all the players that were watching him throughout the course of the tournament. Turns out he played a different archetype of deck in every single round, except he always played Combo Druid. So I was like, all right, it's Conquest. I'm going to try and counter Combo Druid. So I built all my decks to counter Combo Druid. Not only did he bring Combo Druid, he took out both copies of Combo and played anti-aggro tools that are good if you're trying to counter Druid. So he knew my plan, but instead of just countering it by not playing Druid, he still played Druid while countering it. So definitely a really great deck builder and a lot of confidence.
That's sick. That was where you got the turn 3 kill with the
I did get a turn 3 kill, yeah. A little side bit there.
Good old 1-mana rock bite.
That was some fun times. But,
and Warlock is the choice, and that is an Ironbeak Owl.
Yes, this signals immediately that it is no Hellfires, because the only reason to play Ironbeak Owl instead of Spellbreaker is that you could play Prince. Because you can't play any 4-drops.
Weird Curator shenanigans. I don't know why you put Curator in here, though.
No, you have the hero power, so Curator is not really worth it.
Maybe it's Fatigue Warlock. You don't want to hero power.
Then why would you want a Curator?
Brian Bigel.
So he's going to be running, most likely, 2 Twisting Nethers, the Prince on 4.
That was a 4-keep?
Yeah, it was a 4-keep.
Wow.
He has no area of effect abilities, like no board clears, but if you look at it, the minions line up pretty well with what Shaman can kind of present.
It is a really strong hand. You know, Voidwalker doesn't necessarily have to come down on turn 1, although if CompLexity really plays anything, I expect that to happen. Doomsayer, of course, is a great tempo tool, and then Ironbeak Owl operates wonderfully against a lot of the totems that CompLexity is going to have. Let's listen to Misfits and hear what they're thinking in these early stages.
What to do? There is little time.
Just jam it right.
Not obvious, because if we want to play Doomsayer turn 2, it will proc anyway, and then we just lost Voidwalker.
Sure. But maybe if he goes Jade Claws, we don't want to play Doomsayer.
Go Jade Claw.
I'd rather just take the trade, play Thanos maybe. I think it's fine playing it because the value you get from it is negligible, right?
If they go Primal, then we can just all it, for example.
Yeah, and take the trade into the 1/1.
Just simply play Doomsayer.
Okay, I guess we can pass then. I don't know, it feels a bit bad. Voidwalker seems to be useless in this matchup. It's my personal opinion.
So many possibilities.
Tricky. Probably play it, actually.
Why do you fall?
I think you can just totem and then just go Blood Soul Flame Tongue on 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we've decided to go for. I think that's the best we got now.
Yeah.
It's nonsense to evolve.
What does Thanos accomplish? Nothing, right?
Right, the another totem, but like it's like if they have nothing, then it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll probably silence the mana tide, and I rather have extra card because if defile like the Thanos is insanely strong.
Yeah, that's why I was saying just tap and just trade, right? Do we have a coin now? Coin Mistress, I think so, right?
So it's like against mana tide, we can just value trade it.
Yeah, and save the Owl and play Creeper, and if we get a second 1-drop, we can just tap, play the 1-drop. That's more value. I think we should play it, right?
I wonder.
Your connection's breaking up a little bit. Just play it, right?
Side effects? No.
Pun?
Trust me.
Decisions quickly.
Punished. Still think we just played as Mana Tide, right? Or do you wanna like
I wonder.
Flame Tongue patch? Just that doesn't feel good.
None of the plays seem good. I think we just cycle this Mana Tide. Like all of the plays seem bad. I don't see the point in evolving since we drew patches now. Either like
There is little time.
I think this crap is good. I think we are on the draw some gangster and evolve it kind of plan, or make a big throw play at some point. Playing it slow.
Ooh, there's a lot of debate going on over these micro decisions.
Every little thing counts, that's for sure. But as far as the game's going thus far, CompLexity is struggling a little bit. They drew patches, which is slightly unfortunate. They were trying to set up a turn where they could establish a Flame Tongue totem, but the pressure from Misfits minions has been denying that opportunity.
Defensive pressure, of course.
Well, they're just more board control without even board clears.
Yeah, the thing to really note there is that Misfits minions, they're not threatening damage to CompLexity.
Right.
They're simply threatening to kill their minions in play. So,
pretty good thing to be doing against Shaman.
And that's really what the deck is all about. So when CompLexity lacks this early start to really fight for the board, Misfits gets a free pass to really get towards their mid and late game, and that's what their deck is designed to do.
Yeah, once they start making it towards the 8, 9, 10 mana slots where Twisting Nether becomes available to them to just kill everything.
Or just Abyssal Enforcer.
Abyssal Enforcer becomes available to act as a Hellfire, and then the Death Knight eventually, if that's able to come down without Misfits being in a position where they're just going to die immediately if they play it, they'll win the game.
Yeah. Gul'dan is something else in that regard.
Think about that Cobalt Scalebane in the hand of CompLexity there. That's some wacky tech. We've been seeing that pop all over in a bunch of decks, especially in some of the rogue builds.
Well, Team Love You Lots played it last week.
Okay.
They played a lot of Tar Creepers, and it seemed like they played a lot of Cobalt Scalebanes as well. I like the choice simply because of how much value that card is worth when you're ahead, but a lot of times we've been seeing it in players just behind. And part of the reason they're behind is because their hand instead has a 5-drop in it instead of something to actually fight for the board. So I think it's something that's really easy to criticize when you see it not work. And then when it works, it looks like it's brilliant. So I think it's just one of those things where it's a fairly feast or famine strategy. It doesn't always pay off, but it's worth the risk to take a lot of times.
Makes a lot of sense. It seems to be just this standard inclusion of a lot of these professional players when they're trying to target the slower decks. So all of the decks that kind of get beat up by the slower decks that are used to counter aggro, like Shaman for example, it already beats aggro. We saw it beat aggro with Cobalt Scalebane in the deck. then they just kind of include this card as a nod towards the counter queue to try and help them in this like matchups like this one, for example.
Yeah, I mean, because as soon as they have something stick to the board, Scalebane becomes good.
Yeah,
and this evolve was exceptional due to the
Patient Assassin.
Yeah, the Patient Assassin, which is that little stealth guy there. He has poison, so he's going to kill anything he hits. And Nosferatu does get drawn. So I know I said it jokingly, but this is Mill Warlock.
Well, it may not be Mill Warlock. Nosferatu is a card that's very strong in control mirrors.
You give me that. It's a Mill Warlock.
I don't think it's a Mill Warlock.
Let's listen to CompLexity, hear what they think. Doomsayer's a problem.
So they kept Doomsayer and the 1-drops and Tark Reaper. So maybe they didn't even have Golaka.
We can kill the Doomsayer if we want.
Mm-hmm. Like we
should
can,
probably, right?
yeah.
But
Like
since
we
they
can,
play the 5-drop,
so we get nothing out of it.
Assassin. We get to keep the assassin.
yeah, but it dies to the 5-drop.
The 5-drop whirlwind guy.
Yeah.
I have the 5-drop. It's super good, and we have Aya as a follow-up. So what if we don't Jade Lightning? We get to have a Jade Lightning in hand. He plays first. All of his cards are good.
I actually think we're in enough of a bad spot where we don't play around the 5-drop.
Let's just have a good turn against everything that's not the 5-drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Also buffs the Jades. It's not like we're not gonna have like 5 turns to get value.
Hey, Jade Lightning, the Tar Creeper, trade the 1/1, trade Assassin.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
Right, and maybe we'll see.
Coil, yeah, we coil the 1/1 every time, right? Yeah.
That time Nosferatu.
It's a bit weak to Flame Tongue, isn't it? Maybe tap Mistress Multiple is better. I guess the benefit of playing Nosferatu is we can tap our Mistress next turn, right?
On a board.
What are you thinking?
Coil and playing 2 minions. What's best against Aya?
Well, we have Silence, right? So if he Ayers, we just go... Well, if we go tap Nosferatu, we just silence, coil it. Maybe
Right.
we can hear a power
Against
raptor.
Phantom, we can silence with all. It's fine. And here.
Yeah. So I just go tap Nosferatu. I like getting value. So we need to get to our demons. Oh my god. Get to our demons. Then get Gul'dan. Or Gul'man. Then we get...
Yeah, it's just Aya.
Yeah.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
Oh, you trade into the 2/2, right? Or maybe we take it into the 1/1 to play around Portal. Yeah, that makes more
Do we have
sense.
any other option? Like,
No.
the
there's
always
nothing.
killing the 3/3, so it's probably.
It's too good to pass up, right? And it's -1/-1 to the Jade Claws and the Lightning, right?
Also agree.
And if they run like some
Then I
weird
would probably trade into 1/1 actually, because.
yeah, because of the Portal, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This turn seems fairly good for us. Lich King on 8, hopefully we can set it up where it doesn't die. Or at least it's very difficult for him.
I'll play the Lich King because I don't want to show all the cards. Let's say counter with Quest Mage, so it might be good that they don't know the Lich King card.
I mean, yeah, but if it's the only
It's
play,
like, if it's not like
we
100%.
just jam. Yeah, I mean, if we get Lease or something, or Despicable Dreadlord.
You know, I was going to talk about the great future planning from Misfits. The trade over the 1/1 instead to not leave their minion is vulnerable to Maelstrom Portal. Last turn when Sifka goes, what's best against Aya in this spot? But talking about your opponent counter-queuing Quest Mage midway through the game to not show Lich King so that a 1-in-8 outcome from Lich King can surprise your opponent,
That is a lot of planning.
That is some future planning there. Have you ever gone that far in the middle of a game?
Yeah, these are the things you think about all the time, for sure.
I mean, speak for yourself there. I don't...
Well, what do you think Life Coach is thinking about when he ropes turn 1? Well, for that matter, what do you think Sancific was thinking about when he roped turn 1 of this game?
Breakfast tomorrow. his 401k.
Like... They definitely thought about the counter queue of Quest Mage even before the series, because they have a Gnome Feratu in their deck.
That to me is when it makes sense to think about it.
They have double Dirty Rat, Gnome Feratu,
Goodness,
and the Lich King. So this Warlock deck seems very kitted out to be able to try and answer the potential counter queue of the Quest Mage.
Now my question is, how much potential do you lose against aggressive decks when you build a deck in this fashion?
Not actually all that much, because a lot of the cards that you can kind of take out in the those slots for the Gnome Feratus, for example, are cards like Acidic Swamp Ooze that have lost a lot of power with the decreasing popularity of Pirate Warrior. And Warlock as a deck, there's a lot of cards in it that are open for tech slots, because it's just all the removal options, and that's about 20 of your cards, and you got 10 other cards left. You don't really win by pressuring your opponent, you just remove stuff. So all of those are kind of open to be techs of your liking.
Yeah, just good old kill stuff. The old Control Warrior style.
It's basically what it is.
You blow up everything. Really surprised they're going with well, the Lich King here over the Twisting Nether. But it does make a lot of sense in this spot. You know, they saw one of the doppelgangsters already get blown up by the Gnome Feratu battlecry. So in this spot, if CompLexity has to trade into the Lich King, they have Twisting Nether in reserve
for the Doppelgangster Evolve.
That final last itty-bitty chance that CompLexity has exactly Doppelgangster Evolve this turn.
It's kind of interesting. They could have went for maybe like the Dirty Rats there to try and search for that, and then get more information about the hand.
They definitely don't want to show the Dirty Rats, though.
That's true. They value hiding that information more than hiding the Lich King.
That is a much more targeted effect towards Quest Mage than the Lich King is. And Dirty Rat has not traditionally played in Warlock.
Where Lich King is fairly common, I'd say, nowadays.
Yeah, just a very strong value card.
So it makes sense that they're just kind of... That's influencing their plays a little bit. What cards do they want to show? What cards do they want to hide?
Very interesting to see. I mean, we see it from time to time in last year's standing. This is like... To hear him mention it, though, it's just very, very abnormal to me.
Ooh. 5/5 evolves into 5/5.
Loses taunt.
Loses the taunt. Losing the taunt's not actually that bad, because now they have to trade into the Shell Razor.
Well, I can tell you what is really bad, and it's the rest of what's about to happen this turn.
Yeah, they can they clear the entire board?
So Blood Mage Defile would leave Flame Tongue at 1 health. It would proc again, and that would leave the Shell Razor at 3 health. So they would clear off the Totem and the 3/2.
Right. Which isn't very good.
No, it's not.
If they attack first with the Lich King, they can full clear, but then the Lich King's dead. Also not very good.
This does save some health on their Lich King, I believe. It also just helps clear off like annoying stuff. Oh, excuse me, 2 health. I forgot about the last proc. In my head, it was just like, well, the Totem's not really a minion here. It's 0 power.
Wow. I'm very curious that they're actually playing the Dirty Red as well. I really would have liked to see them hold on to that.
I think their conclusion here is that might as well just get stuff on board and go for it, or they might just assume that CompLexity knows that Dirty Red's in here.
How is CompLexity going to win this game from this position?
Maybe they want to discourage Quest Mage from getting played against this.
Maybe they still, yeah, so maybe they're evaluating that Quest Mage is still favored even with the text they have?
I would imagine so.
So then they're maybe trying to psych out CompLexity. It's odd. Because there's like a lot of avenues they could have taken to win this game and not play the Dirty Rat.
A lot.
A lot.
Like a lot.
Like probably above 30.
They honestly probably could have just said go. They're just twisting nether the board and then played Ghoul Man.
But yeah, double Dirty Rat, double Gnome Feratu. Lots of cards to try and
plus
beat
Lich
up
King.
that. And Lich King.
And that's about all she wrote. Ghoul Man does not need to res very much in order for it to often be effective.
Oh, all you need is the hero power. If it res nothing, the card would still be played in 100% of Control Warlock
And that's
decks.
really something to think about. I see a lot of players, when they're starting out with Warlock for the first time, they try to get so much value from the battle cry of Blood Reaver Gul'dan. But the important part is the hero power. You drain anything on the board for 3 life every single turn for the rest of the game.
Disgusting how much.
If you're safe to get this card online, play it. I promise you'll win a lot of games.
Your hero power is better than most of the cards in the game. For like mana to effect ratio, your hero power is just simply better than cards you can actually play.
Warrior played Bash.
Yeah, for 3 mana.
Yeah. Now, granted, armor's a lot different than...
But also, Bash costs a card, which is a draw step.
Exactly.
Which is, it has value. That's
foreshadowing, perhaps,
right,
of what's to come in Quest Mage. I want to throw that reminder out there. Like, hey, don't play Quest Mage versus this.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. It's because they're intentionally playing all of the cards that are good against Quest Mage.
You're so sweet.
I mean, now that I'm seeing it, I was kind of joking at first, but now I really believe that's what they're doing. Like,
I think that is what they're doing.
All of them.
They played all of them, except the second Dirty Rant.
Tied up at 1 apiece. Misfits cleanly sails through game number 2 with what I'd like to refer to as Arena Warlock. It's just a mishmash of cards that are designed to work in a specific way. Warlock happens to be very good versus board-centric synergy-based decks. And in that matchup, you could see every single tech card and how it's meant to work versus some of the control decks. Milling away opponents' resources via the Num Feratu battle cry can be a big deal, and then as well as the Dirty Rat pulling out the potential effects from some minions.
Yeah, extremely powerful to break combos and try and get yourself by crippling your opponent into a position where you get incremental value from your hero power every turn just to win the game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool how the new Control Warlock is kind of designed that way, because Warlocks are always about like corrupting your opponent and stuff like that. And now it's kind of what Warlock does as a class. It tries to take advantage of its superior hero power by corrupting the opponent. It's a pretty sweet design.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I personally love the identity that Warlock is finding with Frozen Throne. And I think Frozen Throne has personally been one of my favorite sets in Hearthstone thus far. Just a lot of cool stuff. Uh-oh, Firebed.
I don't know if it's my favorite set.
You're just biased because you won with Undertaker.
I really like the Warlock Death Knight and the Warlock Identity. I think that's really cool. But the whole set, I like it. I like it.
You just like Undertaker because you won $100,000 with it.
I don't know. That's not my favorite metagame either. That's pretty tough to say what is the absolute best. But what is the absolute best for CompLexity to queue against this Warlock?
Well, if you think about what Warlock has struggled against, it has been combo, but we saw a lot of tech cards for that.
We saw a lot of tech cards, which indicates that maybe there's now like oozes and such. So maybe if this is a Pirate Warrior, that would absolutely stomp this Warlock.
I mean, Druid is here.
Still?
Oh, don't give me Jade. Druid is sick against Warlock.
They didn't ban it, though.
I'm queuing up the Jade Druid here 100% of the time.
We didn't see a Skulking Geist, but there could be a Skulking Geist in the Warlock deck.
Let's go.
You'd probably still favor it as the Jade Druid, but Pirate Warrior I think would be even more favored. With the tech cards we saw, there's no room for the Galactic Crawlers in the Warlock, probably no oozes. So really the only thing you have to get through is Tar Creeper. And even with Galactic Crawlers, Warlock is slightly unfavored against Pirate Warrior.
Yeah, it does help bring it back. It's just that the game's become a little bit more one-sided when they happen that way. Like, if you have Galactic Crawler, if you win, it's probably a little bit more decisive than it was before. But if you don't have Galactic Crawler, a lot of times you get steamrolled by Pirate Warrior.
Yeah.
And then even sometimes if you have Galactic Crawler, they just have like the Frothing Berserker, Arcanite Reaper kind of starts. And those are really, to me, the toughest for Warlock to deal with.
Right. They have Shadow Bolt to kind of try and stop that sometimes, but it's just, it's not enough. A deck that's trying to kill all of your opponent's minions is not that great at defeating a deck that all of the minions charged your face and do immediate damage.
It's very true. There's no doubt about it. Pirate Warrior is certainly a big problem for Warlock. Take a look at the Edwin Van Cleef over Mr. Yagut's shoulder. Of course, a big rogue expert.
Yeah, that was how he got his kind of start. He was one of the... There's 3 or 4 streamers that streamed exclusively Rogue in the beginning of the Hearthstone days, and Yagut did that for a couple of years. Since then, he's kind of diversified into other classes, but he was once known as the greatest Rogue player in the world for a period of time. Just multiple #1 legend rank hits on the Rogue deck.
He is an expert, to say the least.
Yeah, Rogue in every meta, too. Like, even metas where people were like, Rogue's terrible. Yagut was like, #1 legend.
You know, people have always had this weird stigma of like, Rogue's not that good. I'm like, Rogue has been in every World Championship winning lineup.
That's true.
Every single one.
And it makes a lot of sense to ban CompLexity's Rogue in particular. You look at the players that they have on the team. Crane loves Rogue. Mr. Yagut, we just talked about, loves Rogue. And Tyler plays a ton of Rogue as well. So I think that might have weighed into the decision to ban Rogue instead of Druid for Misfits.
Here we go. It is Jade Druid.
Interesting.
This is just definitely the call. Jade Druid is so strong versus Warlock.
You can make a soft read that maybe there's no pirates. Maybe the warrior then from CompLexity is some sort of control-y N'Zoth warrior.
Now, I'm basing that off the fact that Crane's on the team.
And he loves the N'Zoth warrior. He's a big friend of Casey, who was the original creator of the Knights of the Frozen Throne N'Zoth warrior. So they've play-tested a lot together, and it would not surprise me if that's the deck they're playing. But let's hear about Misfits and how they're going to adjust their game plan to try and win an unfavorable here.
Hard enough for Geist, because once you get it, it's just like, you know, you can do whatever you want.
If you're like ahead on the board, then they can play like one idol, and if you still get it turn 15, it's might be good enough. But like, I don't even think that the Void Walker is that super good.
Yeah, I would mill everything. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I promo again the way I am. Okay.
Just play Void Walker, right?
Why do you fall?
I will tap probably because I'm being ahead on the board, but maybe now it could be.
Also, if we play Gnome Ferratu and it gets rid of Jade Idol, they're going to shuffle the second one. So we just tap, right?
Keep smart. Utilize a column turn and tap.
Yeah, I would tap, yeah.
So I would come for Ratu here.
I would tap.
You're so sweet.
The title is good.
I mean, that's what I mean, right?
Her Jade card is very good to hit. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but if we had tapped, they play Idol.
Crane?
Yeah, ramp.
Yeah.
The land serves me.
I hope he doesn't discard our second Jade Idol.
That would be really stupid. Like, really, really stupid.
Yeah.
Another one to play.
I've made my peace that we're gonna get unlucky at like one of the weeks.
Jade Beneath?
Yeah, just
feels good.
I see 6 mana. You see 6 drop.
Green mana.
Nomferatu hits a Jade Idol, and that's a very important hit.
Yeah, I think it's exceptionally strong because one of the things that it's going to cause CompLexity to have to do is they have to shuffle their second Jade Idol, which means they kind of have to pollute their deck a little bit to be able to do that, which gives Misfits more time to try and find the Skulking Geist.
Nourish is the best draw when your opponent plays Doomsayer and you can't kill it.
Yeah, it gives you something to do. You can actually spend your mana and accomplish something with your turn.
So
Insane.
good. Every single time I play Doomsayer against Druid and they Nourish, I'm like, I'm going to lose.
Yeah, because you were hoping to be able to get a free turn out of the Doomsayer, but it's not the case here. There's no ultimate infestation in hand, so shuffling the Jade Idols now is pretty expensive.
I would like to see them hold it for 2 reasons. Number 1, they don't want to draw a Jade Idol right now.
Right.
Number 2 is the potential for Skulking Geist. You don't really want to just expend it right away and then have your opponent a big incentive to Skulking Geist right away.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, you'd like to be able to get some value from it, maybe coupled with Fandral. Number 3 is if they can have a turn where they develop multiple threats and it forces Misfits to use, say, a Twisting Nether because of how much damage is presented, maybe they get a turn to play Kun and then Ultimate Infestation in the same turn. Get another big board swing on the back of that. There's a lot you can do with Jade Idol. I'm always a big fan of holding this, but I'm always a big fan of playing it too. It's one of those cards where, despite how powerful it is and how much you want to use it, there's a lot of argument for simply holding on to it.
Sure. You have to set it up right. You have to set up the Jade Idol. And always being aware of the Geist and making sure you can avoid playing into that while setting it up is very important.
Now, having it in your hand is an incentive to actually play it if you anticipate Geist as well. We heard Misfits talking about it. I wonder if CompLexity is actually thinking about that.
I imagine it's definitely on their mind. When you see Druid being left up, you have to expect some of the decks that typically always lose to Druid will have Geist in them. But let's listen into Misfits and see what they have to say about this turn.
To play? I don't see anything.
I mean, yeah, we can use Hellfire, go face. They play the thing. If they play the 5 damage thing to the face, they overdraw 1. And then we can Shadow Bolt trade. And if they trade it into our dude, we can maybe even, like, Siphon or Defile Shadow Bolt tap, right?
So many possibilities.
So just Hellfire here, it's not getting any better, right? We could, like, coin tap or something weird, but maybe we do coin tap.
Almost out of time. So many possibilities.
Probably the 5-drop thing. Oh, Hellfire. Okay, so they just play actually the Iron Beguile. That's surprising.
So they can't even coin Twisting Nether.
Yeah, so
We have
we Coon first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make a big board.
Coon every time. Cycle White Girls instantly.
Shouldn't we Ross?
No,
Yeah, actually. Because
Ross
like
for one and then kill this
hero
maybe?
power, and then you have 5
why don't we
mana.
just ignore it?
I guess we can also ignore it.
I would cycle the White Girls, like
Yeah, I like
Okay.
it too.
other guys that important.
Okay, now I really think we should cycle.
That like we can Wrath 1 hero part and then pay Jade Spirit now.
Yeah. Cycle again.
Time waits for no one.
I would cycle again. Like, why do you
I
keep Ross?
kind of agree with that. I can agree
Yeah,
with
go,
that. Yeah,
go for it, go for it, go for it. And then play the 4.
But earlier it was good to keep it in case we drew the cycle cards, then we just use the rat to deal 3, right? Like that's
Yeah,
why
yeah, I
saving
agree.
earlier is much better. But now I think cycling it makes a lot of sense because our hand is so bad. So Siphon, that's fine, expect that. Right? We just do that and start pushing, right?
Yeah, like
Let's think
you make-
about how we do it, because with Lotus, in which case then the twisting that up maybe happens.
I'm not sure about Lotus. Lotus just gets us 2 more damage in.
Yeah, but it keeps the guys out of range of like a AoE, like Abyssal.
Let's count damage. So 5, 8.
You
If
definitely
he abyssals,
Malfurion.
he's dead. I think he's dead if he abyssals.
Yeah, I like Malfurion, hero power phase, and Mark. I think that's the play.
So basically we can just play Pestilent and hero power. We don't need
Are you
to
guys
buff the
sure about Mark?
I'm very
No,
sure.
no, I don't. We don't
You
need
don't
to
want
mark.
All right.
Just
Yeah,
make
we
the
don't
1/5.
mark, right?
Okay, I trust you guys.
Yeah.
That's what I was counting. Like if he abyssals,
Yeah, that's why I'm so confused.
we just lethal him with the beetles and the swipe and the hero power, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So.
This is really interesting. The Mark of the Lotus represents a lot of stats on board here, but they're trying to bait Misfits into Abyssal Enforcer a lot of times here, thinking, well, maybe we're safe, we're clear off 5 power, but they have the swipe, they still have the mark for the 1/5s, and they have the hero power. So if Misfits played Abyssal here thinking they would be safe, they're actually dead instead. I think this is a really clever play.
It's a cute little exact lethal setup to try and bait out that Abyssal. So
Now
if
my
that
question
comes
is that 2 damage ever necessary if you see Twisting Nether instead? And I don't think it is.
down, well, you're going to be 1 off lethal with double swipe hero power if they Twisting. That's the downside.
And they do have 12 cards left,
They
so...
have 12 cards left. One of the cards remaining is a swipe. So they're losing that out a little bit, potentially.
Here's Defile. And that Mistress helps pad the life total as well as get the Defile rolling.
And set up a Doomsayer to try and develop the Lich King on the following turn. Very strong
This
turn.
is about as good as it was going to get for Misfits, but you can see why this matchup is so tough. The amount of card draw that CompLexity has means that they just present a board turn after turn, and that's really where Misfits is going to struggle. It's just the stuff that they have to kill.
The thing about Druid that makes it so good against control decks is the board, like you said, they can present the board over and over and over again. Sometimes that gets kind of faltered by the Skulking Geist or Gnome Fratus getting rid of your Jade Idols, but the thing as well is not only do you have that pressure, but thanks to the Death Knight, you actually have the ability to just pressure the life total very aggressively. 3 damage a turn is no joke. You can just swing a Fiery War Axe at their face, essentially, every turn after you get that Death Knight established.
It is akin to Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
Yeah, it's very similar, and it comes out way faster.
Yeah, and you also guarantee to get something with it.
And you just count the damage available in Druid now. It's actually pretty crazy how much face pressure cards are available with 2 swipes being, 8, and then you have the 2 ultimate infestations being another 10. That's 18 points of burn. It can't all be played at once, but it's really going to help. It's interesting to see them actually value clearing the Doomsayer.
Well, this prevents Misfits from, I think, cleanly getting down some
Lich King, right.
The Abyssal Enforcer still looking bad on this style of board.
Right.
Lich King comes down here, and if Lich King comes down here, Misfits is instead worried about their position rather than very comfortable with it.
Yeah.
They're playing it anyway, but...
It's still extremely strong on this board against Druid.
And now a swipe down.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's a powerful card with some of those dirty rants, man.
That being said, Mark of the Lotus here does offer up a trade, but now CompLexity left still with no card draw, a Nourish and 2 Ultimate Infestations in their bottom 10 cards. And if they want to combo this Jade Idol with Fandral, it's going to put them further away from those card draw effects that they desperately need.
But closer to giant 1-mana
Green men.
Yeah. Yeah, which isn't bad.
Zalay's casting in the collegiate tournament this week, I think, was very on point. Where he's like, what do we want to do? We want to make some green men. We want to draw some cards. How do we do that? Let's listen to CompLexity and see how they want to do it.
Do we just play everything? I mean, Jade Idol, Mark Lotus, Doomsayer, and kill the Lich King?
I was thinking Plague Idol, Lotus, kill it.
What did you say?
Plague Idol.
My turn is not.
Yeah, go fast. Do your play.
I'm not sure like what the best play was, but
I think this better.
Yeah, I don't know. If we don't do this, then I don't know what we do.
Like, Doomsayer is not even that good, right?
No.
No, it's not. Like, he just can develop the Death Knight into that.
Geist. Shadowbolt trade, right? Yeah. I think so. We have a coil left and a Defile to kill that. We can just play Gul'dan. Maybe. Yeah, we have to play Geist this turn. It's like the last turn to play it. It's like, I don't see a better play. Also gives them no opportunity to play Idols. And gets rid of a Mark of the Lotus as well.
Almost out of time.
Yep. Maybe we could have like traded in and then anti-magic shell after. But I think that's dumb.
I think we gotta squeeze out the hero power a lot. Like, I would just play Jade Blossom hero power, everything phase.
I think so too.
His Geist doesn't trade anything on his own. So let's just pretend like it's silly.
A tangled web.
He played one mod coil and one... No, he played 2 mod coils and one...
both mod coils. So
Like,
I
if we
think
Plague and Blossom, we missed 3. I mean, we do protect the guy, but I really feel like pushing 3.
Yeah, we should probably go face, right?
Yeah, I really like going face. Jade Blossom face with
just
power.
play Plague Hero Power.
And then worst case scenario, we go for the like Nostrum Prey, Spreading Plague, Doomsday turn after.
I actually like
Things
Jade
look really
Blossom
bad.
because it pressures more. What do you think?
Yeah,
Wayne?
yeah. Jade Blossom Hero Power face. That's the play now.
Yeah. Give Plague Hero Power, but it still seems too passive, honestly.
They only played one demon. One
Yeah.
more Falcon.
I mean, the 4/5 is pretty decent here, right? But at least
I mean, these are not minions in hand, right? They're spells. Spreading Plague Swipe, I'm thinking. Right? Maybe Spellbreaker's there. So I guess we play Rat, don't we? See what gets pulled. Could Siphon at Anti-Magic Shell. But the 4/8 taunt's pretty good, but I guess it dies to a 0 power and a 5/5. So maybe Anti-Magic Shell Siphon's better.
I wonder. Almost out of time.
We tap, right?
Yeah, yeah. Wait, yeah, we're not dying here, no. Space. Ah.
Geist has hit. They're starting to close in on killing everything, but they still have to clear wave after wave. You heard CompLexity say, we need as many hero powers as we can. Can Misfits survive this push from CompLexity? Still a swipe, still 2 ultimate infestations in deck.
It is going to be tough to actually survive through all of this because of those draws that could be coming out from CompLexity. 3 burn cards remaining out of the 7 cards left, so they are threatening to push a lot of damage. And Misfits...
2 of them win instantly. I'm sorry, all 3 of them win instantly because they have hero power for 3 damage. The 3 damage push has been the difference in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough. And they don't have any healing available except for the Siphon Soul and the Death Knight. Death Knight returns them to 10 health and revives a Voidwalker. So they have...
Oh, you know we haven't seen Despicable Dreadlord or Abyssal Enforcer in this.
Right, but we've seen double Gnome-Feratu, double Dirty Rat, so I think we figured out how they're making room.
I think so as well. So they are quite literally playing Blood Reaver Gul'dan just for the effect.
Right, it's a kind of like a fatigue warlock, if you will, because you use the Gnome-Feratus to remove resources.
Just a card.
Yeah, and it's just a card. It's like old Control Warrior style. This is
Tank up!
Yeah, I definitely like the deck design of the warlock.
I think they got to go for Twisting Nether here. If they play Blood Reaver Gul'dan, they're still dead to everything that's going on. Actually, no, I like the Blood Reaver Gul'dan for 3 reasons. Number 1, they're still dead to all burn spells.
Right.
No, whether they Twisting Nether or not. But this gives them the position to Twisting Nether and then start the hero powers.
Exactly. If you go with the Twisting Nether, you're dead to any burn spell and any Jade card, which is every card in their deck. So I don't really like the Twisting Nether. So this way, now if they don't draw a burn card, you could potentially heal out with the hero power. So you're giving yourself...
They are taking 9 here, though, so they're dropping to 1. So they go to 4, so they still have to fade another burn spell next turn.
Well, they get, yeah.
They could Siphon.
Well, they floated 6 mana on a turn earlier when they cleared the board where they could have utilized the Siphon just for the heal. Because they clear the whole board anyway, but they could have just played Siphon just to heal.
That's a bit greedy. Because Aya's still there,
But
right?
that's safe, not greedy.
Aya is still in the deck.
Aya is still in the deck. The remaining Jade cards in the deck consist of just Aya and the Jade Blossom in their hand. So they have 2 Jade cards total. But you can't really Siphon Soul Aya anyway because it creates 2 Jade bodies. How do they deal with Aya?
Iron Becal.
Iron Becal, then Siphon.
That's
And
why
you
they
have to
kept the
leave a
Siphon.
5-mana minion up and take 5?
That's why they...
It's looking dicey.
Well, in this spot, if Aya's here, they're dead. Long story short, Misfits had to throw a Hail Mary here and hope that they fade the draws.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe Siphon Soul healing for 3 is not so bad because if they get Aya in the next 2 draws or so anyway, you're dead. So getting the extra 3 health maybe allows you to win in the eventualities where they don't have the Aya.
Uh-oh. How does that change anything?
Gnome-Feratu could mill the Aya, the Ultimate Infestation, the Swipe.
They got another
fairly
here.
impactful cards, but yeah.
They got to fade 1 more draw here. This is like the big turn. CompLexity has almost every card in their deck left is so big right now. Let's listen to Misfits here. They're planning. This is a tough one.
for Gnome because like I don't know, I think this is just better than. And what are their 2 cards? It's like
Nice.
Okay, I really need to go to the toilet. Spirit deck.
And that's why Mr. Yuget was playing so much faster. As you can see right there, he had a jet at the end, but Edwin Van Cleef stands in his place. Man himself, I'll tell you what, even with all the tech that Misfits brought for this matchup, even with milling the Jade Idol early from the Nosferatu, Jade is just still so much to deal with. And that's with so much of their card draw in the bottom 6 cards.
Right. I would say that CompLexity had kind of an unfortunate draw with their Jade Druid. Both of the ultimate infestations in the very bottom of the deck. So a little bit unlucky for them there, but they were able to still win it. So that just speaks to the power level of Jade Druid against the controlling Warlock archetype. Even with the techs in there, even with the Geist, unable to make it.
A lot of it comes down to just simply mana utilization as well. The Druid has so much threat potential to reload the board, and everything the Warlock has to do takes almost their entire turn. You know, Siphon Soul 6 mana, Blood River Gul'dan 10 mana, Twisting Nether 8 mana. Right. It's hard for them to do anything proactive to try and contest the board presence that's there, and that's, to me, really why that board position snowballs out of control. Well, not necessarily just the Jades itself.
It would be okay if not for the Death Knight. That's the real kicker that makes Druid so crazy. You think about trying to counter Druid, you think about stopping all of the Jades, you're like, well, if I just kill all of the Jades, Druid can't win. Well, it's not necessarily true because they have the Death Knight, because they have the ultimates that can go face, which it's
so
kind of silly that card can go face. It's just, they have so much burn on top of that that they can adjust their game plan against some of the controlling decks to just pressure with burn spells a lot.
And there you can take a
and
look.
The hero power.
And where CompLexity has been sitting, I believe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 2 wins so far this set with Shaman and with Druid. Paladin, like we said, was pretty much the breadwinner for everyone in week number 1. That deck pulled a fantastic win rate in the opening week.
It's really, really strong deck,
of course,
obviously.
you can see the averages across the board there as well.
Not a lot of Warrior going on for CompLexity as of yet, so kind of interesting. And their Rogue, I imagine, has just been banned every time. That's why it hasn't been played. Everyone's fearing CompLexity's Rogue ability.
I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, 3 Rogue experts on the team there. And not only that, but a lot of the way that you will build versus CompLexity, because they also like to play control decks a lot, is if you build a deck 2-beat control, it typically is weak versus any sort of combo style of deck, whether it's going to be for tempo or whether it's going to be for value. So you're weak to Miracle and you're weak to the tempo Rogue deck, both of which are very strong versus the counter control style of decks. Yeah,
like take that Warlock deck, for example, that Misfits was just playing. That would get butchered by Rogue, so it makes sense that they go with banning Rogue and Priest, as that deck would have 0% win rate versus Rogue and Priest. Well, not 0, but
about as close to 0 as you get. You're not going to find an edge. You'll win some games, but they're going to require some very fortunate
Nosferatus, basically. They're going to have to get lucky with that and get like
Bam,
that.
Hit both those gadgets in Auctioneers! Nosferatu solves every problem.
If you're lucky enough.
I like that.
But it is a pretty cool card.
You don't like that? Yeah, you're too good to think about that. See, for me, I just like to jam down my green cards. So Nosferatu's perfect for me. I'm actually going to queue that up when I get back. There you can see the teams, of course. Tyler.
Well, there's a disadvantage to playing Nosferatu in some situations, though. You have to evaluate it. If you play Nosferatu early, then when your opponent has like a bunch of cards that they want to be cycling to, then you have a higher % chance to hit a card that they don't want to have drawn. So you're thinning their deck towards their better cards on average.
Don't you take away my play the green thing dreams.
So you kind of want to wait until the correct circumstance after stabilization, really, or when there is more good cards remaining in their deck than bad cards for the current situation.
So, something big here to note is that Misfits saw a lot of that Druid deck.
Almost all of it.
Something that was really missing was any sort of counter tech to Secrets.
That's true.
There was no Dirty Rat. There was no Eater of Secrets. If they're playing Quest Mage here, this looks like the time to unleash it. Quest Mage has typically done very well versus Druid in my experience, both playing with and against it. Dirty Rat and Eater of Secrets are really 2 of the cards that can turn that around. Now, last week we saw CompLexity use an Eater of Secrets in their Druid deck, but to no effect. They were never able to actually get an attack through because the board got frozen turn after turn after turn. I'm curious if they brought something this week, but they have 2 Doomsayers and they have Mark of the Lotus.
Yeah, I don't think they have any tech. We saw like all but 3 of the cards after the Ultimate Infestation got played, so they would have had to have all of their tech in the bottom 3 cards. We didn't even see Spellbreaker. That's how little amount of tech cards that we actually saw. So I imagine in the bottom 3, Spellbreaker is the tech card that they have because it's almost a staple at this point. So I think that would be the most likely card to be remaining, but no other tech aside from that, I don't think.
Well, we're going to find out what they have in store. We got to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be getting into game number 4 of CompLexity versus Misfits. So don't go anywhere, guys. Plenty more Trinity action here on this channel.
Who's that pro?
No, bro, what?
Nah,
I mean, they could also just see it that we want to trade the 2-1 into the 1-1 there or whatever.
It's Tice!
No, bro, what?
Nah.
I mean, they could also just see it that we want to trade the 2-1 into the 1-1 there or whatever.
You guys seeing this?
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Welcome back to the Intel Esports Arena here in Burbank. Trinity Series Season 2 brought to you, of course, by Intel, Twitch, and ESL. I'm Nathan, that's Admiral Zamora, and joining me is 2014 World Champion James Fireback Kostic. And as we head into game number 4 here, we saw Warlock put up a good fight versus Druid, but not able quite to get there.
Almost. He got pretty close, getting down to the very end of the game, able to actually transform into the Death Knight, able to get the Skulking Geist down and remove almost all the Jades. But the Death Knight proved to be too much damage, being able to come in every turn. CompLexity was able to just squeeze in multiple hero powers over multiple turns. I think they got 4 in, so 12 points of face damage from just hero powering away.
You can beat Jades, but can you beat Malfurion?
It's honestly a lot like Steady Shot at that point of the game in some of these control decks. It's crazy ridiculous, and a lot of people...
Just a card Steady Shot.
Just a card Steady Shot, yeah. A lot of people don't really think about that aspect. Wow, Medivh.
And it is Quest Mage for Misfits as well. And again, we saw almost no tech in CompLexity's deck to specifically fight Quest Mage.
They had about 3 cards remaining that we didn't see. And like,
one of them's Medivh.
One of them's Medivh and the other's Aya. So they have like 1 mystery card remaining, which might be a Dirty Rat, and it might hit exactly Archmage Antonidas.
Last week, CompLexity played an Eater of Secrets. And
well, how much is that going to help you?
I ended up tweeting out that I thought Dirty Rat was stronger. And Crane said, on average, Dirty Rat's better. I'm sorry, that on average, Eater of Secrets is better. I said that Dirty Rat I thought was better. I don't have the experience to really say anything about the numbers on it. If you want my personal opinion, I think Dirty Rat's better because you see the impact immediately. There's not very much setup. You don't really have to worry about it.
I think one of the things that you have to consider is if you are playing Eater of Secrets, you also need to play a way to kill them. Jade Druid's kind of slow at killing them and can be really susceptible to the freezes. So if you're running like double Spellbreaker with Eater of Secrets, it can be extremely powerful.
This opening hand from Misfits is so good.
Lots of card draw, yeah. That's what you want.
That is what the deck wants to see, is card draw. And getting it immediately makes a difference because if you draw it later on, it means you're drawing some dead cards earlier on. But now the deck's at 25 cards. And then next turn it's going to go 24 cards. Cold Light takes 22. And then they go to 21. And then Cold Light takes to 19. When you're a third of the way through your deck on turn 4, Quest Mage is very good.
They could even use Simulacrum here to generate more Cold Light Oracles to draw their deck even faster.
Yeah. Now that being said, with Cold Lights in the deck, they're going to pick up some card draw here. So Simulacrum, I think you keep it in the pocket. You look for the combo.
I don't know. You can draw almost your entire deck.
Firebat's so greedy.
Well, you didn't see any Dirty Rats, so you don't need both Simulacrums. You can complete the entire quest.
That's a good point.
With the cards available. So just giving yourself even more card draw. I've not done the math on it, so I don't know how much card draw is optimal to be able to get to your deck by the time where you can hit combo potential. But more seems good.
CompLexity's hand is getting awfully heavy too. They do have Jade Blossom, but Fandral not pulling a lot of weight here immediately. Spreading Plague is joining the hand. Cohen does unlock some potential here, though. I mean, being able to slam that and refill your mana and then keep going, I think is a big deal. And if Misfits doesn't play Cold Light here, what that means is they're looking to potentially burn some cards from CompLexity and get their benefit from it. So let's listen to them and see what they're thinking of this one.
If they like ramp or something, we just play the second one. Just get them.
Yeah, you just ramp.
A keeper though?
Yeah, you could consider Maya Keeper to contest.
Then we
what do we do next on them?
Yeah, then we can
ramp again with Nourish, right?
Probably.
Isn't it slow? Like, we need to deal some minion damage too.
Isn't it
Yeah,
faster?
it's
We can just
faster
play.
because-
We play Fandral next turn. I think if we coin the Mikey, we'd probably just play Fandral next turn.
Yeah.
We could even coin Fandral this turn, actually.
Yeah, I was also thinking about that.
Could actually
I'm
coin
not
the
sure
Fandral.
about Coin Fandral.
I like mana. I like coin Mario Keeper.
Yeah. Crane? Coin Myra Keeper?
I like Fandral. You decide.
I like Mario Keeper.
Okay.
Guess we just don't care, right? Just Oracle book. Can draw them as many cards as they want. Guess book first, sure. We still Oracle Rex, we overdraw a card. Also, we develop it as well, so maybe we can kill Fandral. Yeah, I think it's better. Also, yeah, Intel gets reduced with apprentices, right? So we eventually.
Fandral or?
I mean, if we trade, it's pretty much the same against like, everything, right?
Like, if we deal some face damage, it might be enough to get 3 apprentices, then we have 20.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Face damage is sometimes relevant, so I just hit it. Like, if we trade, swipe still clears, Wrath clears, and it's the same if we go face because we still have
Might
to trade.
play like double threat, and then...
I mean, yeah, but then we
I
don't
would
care
go
if he
face,
overdraws
probably.
again, yeah. If he double Wraths, he overdraws,
Right.
and if he goes Innovate, Nourish, he also
I would go
overdraws.
face. and It
Yeah,
might
go
be
face,
that.
yeah.
Then we have a combo with 3
Hand is too full.
It's not actually that bad of an overdraw. It's probably one of the better ones. I mean, Malfurion's got to be the best overdraw, though.
Well, some overdraw, but not super relevant against Drew in this matchup, as Drew is the one that's typically pressuring in this. So I like the Misfits comment of they can draw as many cards as they want. All that matters to Misfits is can they find the right pieces in time.
And on the other side of things, all that matters to CompLexity is how can we pressure the fastest? And they deemed that the best way to do that in their hand wasn't actually ramping the mana to get to more expensive cards. It was developing the Fandral first, so that then when they play the Mire Keeper, it's a 5/5 rather than just a 3/3. So they had a lot of debate on that, and they were kind of torn. It seems to be working out quite nicely.
I kind of like the way that they end up operating this, so they get the extra minion from Mire Keeper. Mire Keeper, I think, is a pretty difficult card to use in this matchup, and it also gives you the benefit of if Fandral sticks to the board, you get the big payoff of Nourish.
That is one of the upsides to that, and it isn't really too much of a payoff. Drawing isn't really that helpful when your opponent's played 2 Cold Light Oracles.
Well, they just want to get through their deck.
Right.
You know, the bigger one is that they're getting ramp and they're finding more Jade stuff. They don't have to have all their Jade stuff. They just have to keep it going. So if they overdraw more Jade in that spot, but they pick up a Jade, I think they're totally fine with that.
The downside of going for this line of play is it does slow down your progression towards the ramp a little bit. By not going for the ramp immediately, your Nourish gets slowed down by 1 turn, which means your Death Knight comes out 1 turn later, which means you have 1 turn slower to start accessing that sweet, sweet Justicar Hunter hero power. So it's kind of a trade-off in a couple respects there.
Well, Nourish and Jade Blossom looks good to me. What does CompLexity want to do this turn? Get a bunch of mana.
Well, it's less pressure than going for the double Jade Blossom, and you don't need additional mana because you can still just play the Death
turn
Knight.
after that. A lot of stuff here. Let's listen to CompLexity, see what they're doing.
In the area. Oh.
Guess we start with book, right? This is kind of odd. Didn't get archaeologists or anything.
What to do? What to do?
Maybe Intel. We could like, yeah.
Cast a spell. I want to cast a spell.
Oh. How bad is that? So we just novice and then Forbidden Flame the 3/3, right?
Time runs out on me.
quite my invention.
Job done.
We like Coon.
Yeah, we
Coon
always go
crystals.
Kuhn first.
Yeah.
Big boys to the
what
side.
else?
I wanna Bufferian here and start hitting 3 every turn.
But
I think that's
actually,
how you win.
yeah, I think that's better than Medivh.
We already have this much of a board. More board doesn't do anything.
We get the 1/5s, right? Yeah, for sure.
Low power.
Yeah, I think we get the 1/5s.
Is it really never Medivh? Just thinking
No,
about it.
I'm pretty sure that we just have to spec him for 3
He's
starting now.
gonna start freezing already this board, I would
Mhm.
say.
Because it's like
Yeah.
a 7/7 on board. He has to freeze this. And even if we just get another Medivh on board, he will still freeze. Doesn't do
I also feel like if he has a polymorph, for example, for the 7/7, honestly, we're still pushing enough damage with just the
yeah, the
and the
small
hero
guys
bar.
and the hero bar. Let's just keep hitting him.
We might even hit him with T-Shrap, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we gotta consider one thing about the Medivh, right? Is that the Edges can give us Nerubian Unraveler. The 3-man, like the Blossom, can give us the Mage unit that makes spells cost 1 more. It's like these are like these are reasonable win conditions in this spot, honestly. Want to try to use our 6-mana spells and the 3-mana spell with it if we feel. I mean, obviously we're gonna UI them to try and pop them earlier, but if possible. But like, it's
We could Blizzard, right? I mean, is there any way we can risk this?
To do. What to do.
Like, not play around double swipe? Do we play around double swipe?
Time runs out.
So we could just like intel poly, right? Just pray. Move. Just pass right. Well, I guess we can do this actually.
Like you could consider like saving 1 charge here and hitting him for 3.
I wasn't saying that. It was just something with me.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're gonna use all these spells for it. I think we just Medivh and smack him. Like
For
I would
four,
do
right?
that. Yeah, it's either that or infestation. Like we can infestation and try to hit the swipes as well. That's also a possibility.
But we overdraw quite a bit.
It's not. That doesn't matter in this matchup.
Yeah, I
Never
mean,
matters. So how
we
many do you
have
vote? 2,
less
4,
chance
6,
to do
7?
trust swipe.
Cards?
I think I like hitting him for 4 because then he's forced to freeze the board again.
Yeah.
And then next turn we hit him for 4 again, so they go down to 7.
And
then
we
that
have the
means-
chance to Spring Plug and Jade if you really have to.
I think we Medivh now, but I also think we just fire probably. Infestation next turn if he freezes.
Yeah, we attack for 4, so right?
Yeah, attack for 4.
Again, so kind of you to join me.
And the swipes to pop him is pretty relevant.
It is quite frantic on CompLexity's side. They've had very clean communication thus far, but now that they're in this tough matchup and they have a decent hand and a decent position, I'd say, for the matchup, they seem like they're a bit nervous about it.
Yeah, they have a lot of different ideas going around, which I think is really cool. One of them that I really like is the ability to use the Etiesh weapon, as a weapon, which you don't get to see every day, and they're making sure to include that, as well as thinking about and planning ahead how they can use the Etiesh charges to most influence this matchup. We heard earlier Crane talking about how Spreading Plague is a 6-costing spell that can be utilized to get the Nerubian Unraveler.
He actually mentioned the Doomed Apprentice.
And the Doomed Apprentice from the Jade Blossom. So
I didn't hear the Raveler, personally.
Yeah, so there's the Raveler available, there's the Doomed Apprentice available, there's Mindbreaker available on 3. So the 3-cost and 6-cost spells being saved from Medivh for the ability to try and stop the OTK from Misfits.
It's a difficult thing to do.
It's a difficult thing to even think of on the spot, But this is just another matchup where, like, typically Jade Druid's super unfavored, but the Death Knight, if you're able to get it out early, is just such a crazy powerful force.
I personally like the ultimate infestation here too. I'm in agreement with Crane. I don't think overdrawing matters in this matchup.
Well, yeah, and they're just trying to find the second ultimate infest. Oh no, it's been milled, hasn't it?
Well, they've seen 2 freezes at this point.
Okay.
So they're trying to find swipes.
Right.
And just get big stuff on board. And I think that's definitely the right call.
Yeah. There's a swipe, so they will be able to pop the block on the following turn.
Doesn't matter, and doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
So the next draw, if it's swipe, that could potentially matter. Misfits finds their first Sorcerer's Apprentice, and they have 2 duplicate effects. So now...
3.
Oh, that's 2 Molten Reflections.
2 Molten Reflections and the...
So how close are they to actually finishing this? So I gotta do some math here.
Okay. They can have an extra turn as well, as long as there isn't a Eater of Secrets in Complexity's deck. We saw last week there was an Eater of Secrets, but they've seen most of Complexity's deck now.
They gotta get this Doomsayer out of their hand for Simulacrum.
They don't have to. They could risk it.
That's
so
disaster.
Hey, do they have lethal potentially this turn? Is it possible? If they were to play the Simulacrum right now, win the 50-50, then they would be able to play Sorcerer's Apprentice behind that. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, and they would be unable to complete the quest because they can't play the Molten Reflection.
Yeah. So they got to do it this way. And so next turn, they have Sorcerer's Apprentice down to 8 mana, Sorcerer's Apprentice down to 6 mana, Molten Reflection down to 4 mana, then Molten Reflection down to 3 mana, and then they have Kabbalah's Tomes for 1 mana. They have to have 1 mana left open for Sorcerer's Apprentice, unless some weird stuff going on.
Well,
I don't know. Let's listen to Complexity here what they're thinking, because this game is approaching its end.
Did that to do the thingy. Okay, so this is the turn where we definitely go for the Unraveler stuff, right?
But how? We have full board.
Wait, what? Full board? We have 6 minions.
Yeah. So what?
Like,
how much mana is the Unraveler guy?
Yeah, that's true. We get it first. Can't actually kill anything. Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah, good.
Yeah. So just pop him at 1, and then I guess you play some cards.
A tangled web.
Because you don't want to mill the second swipe.
If you play cards, though, it has to be minions. Matters here the most.
We could just play Aya, I guess.
Yeah, you could play Aya, and then you could even buff with the. No, you can't. No, wait, it doesn't go off, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, we could buff it. I guess we buff.
Yeah. Damn, I actually just saw the play now. Damn, yeah, armor up. It's fine. Damn, yeah. I think we could have loaded up the board and then Wrath the guy, because Edge doesn't pop, and then Blossom. Yeah. Damn, I didn't see that before, guys.
Yeah.
So you go block Tome, right? Okay. That's 2 spells. Now we just play Doomsayer, right? Yep. It's so likely to get 1 playable spell, right? Plus we have Glyph in deck.
Yeah.
Or we win, right? Or they have more blocks, I guess. It's possible.
Now they can maybe just finish it now, right?
Yeah. That's the thing.
We also need to make sure we don't overdraw the thing, right? So we start with Apprentice, Reflection. I guess we just play the secrets, right? I guess we can do that, sure. I mean, there's no reason to not play the secrets now, because in case we play too fast and mess up our stuff. So we just go Tome, right? Yeah, Tome. Alright. GG. Do we have a BM here? Stan?
What? Why
Do we have a BM? Do we get any benefit out of it? We just kill them, right? Because of the timer. Yeah, just start going face. to the time limit.
You win.
Alright, cool.
I can rest now.
GG.
They assemble the full combo, and that means infinite fireballs for Misfits and for Stan Sifka.
Yeah.
Tie up the series at 2 games apiece. And in last year's standing, the winning deck stays on board. The losing deck is out of contention. So now Druid gone, and at 2 apiece, it's still anyone's game. It's the first team to 6 games takes the set.
Right, and Quest Mage is a deck that is often brought out to counter one of your opponent's stronger decks, but can easily be countered. So it's fairly expected that CompLexity has a deck that can beat Quest Mage in their arsenal and will be able to kind of take the next game back. But it's always possible that Quest Mage is able to get a good draw and make something happen. One thing I want to talk about that game, though, that I thought was really cool was that we saw CompLexity try and set up the ability to use the Medivh's Atiesh with a 6-mana spell to be able to try and disrupt the combo, be able to get
Nerubian Unraveler.
The Nerubian Unraveler to make spells cost more. And Stan Sifka, to play around that, polymorphed his own minion and pinged it so that CompLexity couldn't trade off their board to make enough space to create the minion off the Atiesh.
Yeah.
So that was actually a really sick play to be able to just further increase his win percentage in a favorable spot.
And that's really a big part of what Stan Sifka is all about. He spots little things that can make those big differences, even in times when it gets very tough. It helped him make quest progress as well, and it does prevent that specific play. I think it's a brilliant mind at work there, and it's something, even though it's so simple and likely doesn't matter, it can matter. And that's something that you need to be doing anytime you're playing Hearthstone. You maximize every edge possible.
Yeah, a lot of times players will get into a favorable position and then they'll
relax.
They won't notice these little areas where they can get 1% higher win rate, where they can just edge out a little bit more. And Team Misfits is looking really solid today. They are not missing those opportunities.
And that's what we saw in week 1, and it's what I would expect to see of them. Stan Sifka has been one of the strongest players in the world for quite some time now. George C. has proved how strong of a player he is. He's been top 8 at championships and has been consistent throughout when he's competing. Pakrovak, of course, unable to attend today, but we saw him alongside Stan Sifka in Hearthstone Global games.
Right.
This Misfits, I think, is a team to be reckoned with for sure. The way that I think you're going to beat them is by tech choices, because in terms of mechanical play, I don't think you're nabbing an edge on them.
Yeah, it just seems solid across the board. Very few mistakes, and definitely catching like little things that I didn't even notice while watching the games.
Yeah, Crane going to be on deck talking about mechanical play. This guy's one of the best that's out there.
For sure. Early on in Crane's career, he was definitely renowned as one of the best mechanical players, but it didn't show through in his tournaments in the early stages in like 2015, 2016, when he was kind of trying to break out into the scene. He had a lot of nerves and a lot of stage fright. Since then, he's definitely matured a lot over time. You know, he's joined CompLexity since then, and has a pro team behind his back, has a bigger network, and the stage fright, I would say, is 99% gone from Crane, but he's one of the players I would say tends to be more emotional.
I definitely agree with that. I think he is just a lot invested in the game, and it shows how much he cares about results in that aspect. You know, Crane puts in a ton of work day in, day out to try to maximize this potential, and it really has shown. You know, again, they took Trinity Series Season 1
very seriously
with CompLexity, and he's just been such a strong player since then. A lot of his training, of course, came during the Patron Warrior era, which was heralded as one of the most difficult times to maximize your edge in terms of that mechanical play. I think, to me, Patron was a lot less about your overall game plan and a lot more about how you could use the tools that you currently had.
Right. There's oftentimes, I'd say that was the era of the most missed lethals ever. So it's definitely a time where technical play was important.
Here we go. They're going to queue up Mage into this. And something that is not oft talked about is that one of the best ways to beat Quest Mage is simply with Burn Mage. And CompLexity has really liked this deck build because of its potential to not only have explosive starts, but to also have controlling aspects and to also have massive late game potential. This Mage kind of has it all, but it comes at a consistency cost.
It's like Burn Mage. So Burn Mage in the previous Trinity Series was the staple deck, but that was in the Unguru metagame. Now it is actually seen some self-bans. A lot of players yesterday didn't even bring Mage. So it's kind of interesting. It's trying to still find its place. But in concept, Burn Mage is extremely powerful in a 9-class format because not every class has adequate healing. So if you're able to just get into a position where you control the game, you can Alexstrasza them and then kill them.
Yeah, and Misfits here with a pretty strong opening hand. Primordial Glyph, I'd say, is one of the key cards to this deck. the thing to note is that there is a lack of card draw here. So Arcane Intellects, Cold Light Oracles, I think even at this point, Kabbalah's Tome is a fairly big pickup. They shouldn't expect to be under too much minion pressure without Mana Worm.
Right.
So that's really the card that Misfits is hoping to dodge.
Yeah, because a lot of times these Quest Mage decks don't even run Frostbolt, so they have almost no way to answer Mana Worm besides a Doomsayer, and if they don't have the Doomsayer for it, it will get out of control very quickly, and that's when you can start seeing like turn 4 and turn 5 lethals against Quest Mage.
And you can see Misfits planning out their turn here. A lot of this debate comes into how much value does Babbling Book present on the board versus just getting open the Waygate down. Another thing to note is having coin in hand. Coin counts towards your quest progress in this matchup. This tells us that Misfits is looking at that turn 2 Primordial Glyph. Frankly, I agree.
Yeah, they need to find removal options for the threats that CompLexity is going to develop.
So the race to pop ice blocks is underway. And CompLexity is typically a lot better at that.
Yeah, usually the deck that runs Burn does more damage. So it's oftentimes very difficult for the Quest Mage to win, especially with Cold Light Oracles being a huge detriment, because they draw your opponent cards that kill you. Mage has no shortage of burn spells.
You can see how serious they are about removing threats.
Right. They want to try and take as little damage as possible. They don't want to be in a situation where they get chipped away down to like 20 health or so and just die to burn spells over the top.
Yeah.
They can stop minion pressure later on with their freeze effects. They can't stop Pyroblast from hitting them in the face.
No, sirree, Bob. Takes secrets to do that. And well, they're random secrets, so
yeah, they have to get a little bit fortunate.
You don't know what you're gonna end up with. To me, that's part of the fun of it. But lacking card draw, I feel it's gonna hurt. Oh, Alex Straza. Such a big player in this matchup, too, because now this causes Misfits to spend their time answering threats. And even if they get checked, CompLexity still has the trump card.
Yeah. And the most offensive turn 3 play of the Burn Mage comes out. Let's hear how Misfits wants to deal with that.
I wonder. What to do? What to do?
We have Nova and other stuff to proc counter spells, so I don't.
Yeah, that's not going to be an issue.
Yeah. Just play the Barrow if we ever have 3 mana, right?
Okay.
Okay. So they don't want us to have Cordron, huh?
Oh my god. The hand. I'm gonna ping them in the face.
You like that over getting blocked down?
Yes.
Let's think about this for a second. Like, it's better to ping in every case, but if you draw Acolyte and Arcane Intellect, right? If you draw Arcane Intellect or Acolyte, it's better to play Ice Block now.
And also, is there ever a world where we get him for Alex on 9?
What to do?
No.
Like,
What to do?
you don't think so?
Do you not mostly Alex yourself in this match? No.
Alex has no relevance in this matchup. Almost no relevance. Like,
Runs out on me.
Alright.
I just kind of just want to ping him.
Yeah,
Alright,
we can ping.
You can ping him.
We can ping.
I think we ping him.
Crane and I just look at this game very differently.
Yeah, he's very set on the plan of killing the opponent and not really looking at...
It's not a bad plan. I mean, I love that. That sounds great.
There's another way you can kind of play this Burn Mage in this matchup sometimes, where you utilize the first Ice Block to stop the Infinite Fireball combo.
These are pretty bad options for Misfits. Potion of Polymorph is probably the best one, simply because it starts quest progress. None of those cards really have an effect in this matchup.
Well, and it also denies potential pressure. It stops potential card draw. It is their turn 5, where they would like that Acolyte ping.
And this Arcane Intellect draw is exactly why I would have liked to see Ice Block instead. Imagine the complexity of the situation where they basically just draw gas the rest of the game. When do they get that Ice Block down?
Well, Crane's saying that the Ice Block isn't really too relevant because they're just going to kill him. That's where the extra damage comes in.
That doesn't always work that way.
It doesn't always work that way, but he doesn't seem like a firm believer in the defensive plan where you try and like Ice Block the Infinite Fireball, then you play another Ice Block, clear their Sorcerer's Apprentices and their Archmage, and then Alex yourself afterwards.
It definitely is important to be popping the first Ice Block. That is absolutely a paramount aspect of this matchup. Whoever pops the Ice Block first is typically at an advantage, but Misfits has the benefit of having the extra random card generation, so Kabbalah's Tome and the Babbling Books. If they find an extra Ice Block, that's really what Crane's worried about. And I think that's why he wants to apply so much pressure, is maybe he's looking for a double Ice Block pop before Misfits can get there.
Yeah, that oftentimes it's possible for Burn Mage to deal enough damage to where they don't allow the quest to ever happen. And Pyroblast can help with that. So can the missiles, actually. That's
It actually represents more damage a lot of times because Misfits should not anticipate having a board very often. Right. I like the missiles take here a lot more than the Pyroblast.
5 mana, deal 9 if the board is clear.
Whew.
And if they find Thalnos to connect that with, it's 5 mana, deal 12.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So just counting up the damage already in hand, they have that dealing the 9 and the Firelands Portal dealing 5. They're almost there. 14 damage of 23.
Misfits does have some stuff to think about here, though. You know, how soon do you need a Simulacrum? How much pressure should you really be investing into stopping here? Should they use their Arcane Explosion rather than use their Fireball to clear out pressure? Trade in the minion instead. There's quite some tricky stuff going on here still.
Yeah, they might even use Fireball here just to buy 2 life.
It's the mana really that they're buying for this. So, you know, the mana efficiency of this is really important.
Yeah, and they end up going for it instead of going for the Arcane Explosion plus ping. Let's hear what CompLexity has to say about that.
So Ice Block.
The end is coming.
I think we should still Ice Block.
Yeah, it's not like we have anything else to do.
And go Arcane Missiles next turn. Maybe that's dumb. Yeah, that's dumb. Actually, that's dumb. Let's just set up
No,
the
we
block.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're gonna Firelance next turn.
Yeah.
Damn. It panned out in a way where Great Arcane Missiles isn't likely to be very good.
Yeah, it can still get good.
I wonder.
They're like almost done.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it's about finishing quest, but
They still need other stuff, right?
Time runs out on me. What to do? What to do?
model the face.
Yep.
Yep.
Misfits is putting together a lot of pieces of this puzzle. That Kabbalah's Tome was big, but they're still lacking card draw. They need to find Archmage.
Yeah, if they find Archmage Antonidas, they'll be able to have the entire combo. After completing the combo, they will only have the Freezing Potion to initiate.
Now, mind you, it is important that Misfits pops the Ice Block and has plenty of Fireballs to back that up.
They need to have enough spells after completing the quest to be able to generate at least 3 Fireballs, so that if CompLexity is able to Ice Block, clear the board, and then Alex themselves, they can still finish the game off.
And that'd be a good card if that was just, you didn't have to open the way gate for that. Goodness gracious, that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd put that card in my deck. Not too bad.
Back in my day, we paid 2 mana to take an extra turn. Now we have to play 6 random spells and... Ooh, it's a lot of stuff to get an extra turn.
Wonder what the hesitation is there, waiting on the Simulacrum.
Debate maybe on which one to play.
Sure.
Cabal Stone one or Natural one.
Okay, I could see that.
Natural one could potentially represent Archmage Antonius. Maybe it gets complexity to play an Alexstrasza offensively, just try to deal damage or something like that. Commits them to Medivh or something weird.
To have enough damage to try and set up for the lethal here. Setting up for the Greater Arcane Missiles for the pop next turn at 3.
Of course, they could make that too with Hero Power, all the pieces, but no Archmage Antonius, no card draw, Misfits.
But they still have 12 damage. But wait, they even have another because of the Molten Reflection?
They're in a bit of trouble right now. Let's listen in.
Push for... Okay, let's see what their plan is.
Does this mean that Paladin is Control Paladin? We could just go in, but I think that's dumb. Because we can't do it, right? It doesn't happen. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What to do?
I guess it does happen.
George?
Yeah?
We could go eventually with Apprentice on the board, if we want.
Yeah.
But my issue is maybe we might go with 5 Apprentice on the board and then play Cabal Stone for free if necessary.
Yeah, I'd just
keep
ping
it.
it.
Or if they dare to red or whatever, so I would just keep it.
Ping, yeah.
Fine.
It matters because we always do the barrier thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just barrier and get him.
Yeah.
Right, never mind. Start with that, yeah. We still have enough mana to do it all, I'm pretty sure. Right? Because we just play the 3 Apprentices, then we play the Reflection, and then we play Simulacrum. Oh no, we can't do it, right? No, it doesn't work. Yeah, we have to play Apprentice here. It's just Apprentice, Reflection. Or Apprentice, Reflection, right? And then we copy the Novice because we want more draw. So we get Simulacrum, yeah.
You like my invention? An incredible discovery! I hope you like my invention.
No tome. We're not going there, right? But...
Here's a bot.
You just Blizzard first. If it's Counterspell, we win.
No, we Frostbolt first. Oh, no.
Alright.
Yeah, we can Blizzard first.
Yeah, if it's Counterspell, we just win.
I guess we Monkey? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What? Monkey?
Yeah, Monkey.
Is that a monkey?
Yeah, it's a monkey.
Okay. Sure.
What do you mean?
Excuse me, you are on fire.
Ooga, ooga. Ooga, ooga.
Alright.
Wait, what did you think, Crane?
I didn't know what to think. It's not. I don't know. I don't look at the cards, art and stuff that much. I didn't realize he had a monkey as well. Oh, the pyroblast, Crane! Don't show the pyroblast.
Okay.
They want to mock me last week for saying not to show the pyroblast. I get it. Don't show the pyroblast, Crane.
Well,
don't show it.
It's a fairly common card in Burn Mage. I don't think it's too much of a consequence to show it.
Hey, way to fill up your board with 1/2s so that way you couldn't go for a Nerubian Unraveler. Pow, 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 pow. Shots fired.
That is true.
Real talk, Crane and I talk a lot of trash to each other. That's kind of our common ground.
Well, that game went pretty well for CompLexity. So
I'd say so.
Not a lot of trash talking to be done about that one. They were able to, get their favorable matchup against Quest Mage, which is predicted. Quest Mage is really a counter Q deck. It has very polarized matchups.
Oh, yeah.
So it's used to take out a powerful deck, used to take out a Druid here, and you expect it to get countered by something and just lose.
Not only that, but a lot of the matchups where Burn Mage is very strong happens in matchups where Quest Mage is very strong. The difference is that you sacrifice a bit of the edge in those matchups in order to make it up in other matchups. So I actually like the balanced pick of the Burn Mage here from CompLexity, where, again, they played to their strengths that they did last season. They had well-rounded lineups and looked to take sets long and win that last crucial game.
Yeah, Burn Mage is one of those decks that just really has a pretty high chance, or I guess not high, but has a chance in every game. Like, no matter what you're going to queue into Burn Mage, you're never like, I'm going to win a ridiculous percentage of the time.
Easy.
Yeah, you're always like, oh no, Burn Mage, I hope they don't have Mana Worm on one because this could be a disaster. Or I hope they don't get this off Glyph because it could be a disaster. And there's just so many of those, I hope they don't do this, I hope they don't do this, I hope they don't do this.
Sounds like a scary deck.
Those add up over time, and suddenly you're like, well, I guess I'm maybe not even favored in this match.
I just really like the choice of it. It's just very strong against Quest Mage in general. Again, just the pressure of threatening to pop your opponent's ice block causes your opponents to take turns like we saw from Misfits, where they went all in with the Sorcerer's Apprentice, hoping that they could draw the Archmage Antonidas and finish the game. That is not the position you want to be in when you're playing a combo deck.
Right, exactly. And I don't want to explain the entire turn, but I believe they misplayed on that turn. They could have gotten one extra draw for the Archmage Antonidas to win the game if they sequenced it a little bit differently. But
I think you're wrong. They had 9 mana, so they play 3 Archmages. So they have 6. They have 3 mana left.
3 mana. Well, they had 10 mana at that point, didn't they?
No, they had 9 mana that turn.
Did they have 9 mana?
Yeah.
If they had 9 mana, then I guess you're right.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Okay.
We were debating about the
We were
card
debating
draw.
about that between the games. But yeah, that's an interesting turn to look back on because it's pretty complicated.
Look at this, though. Dead Man's Hand Warrior against the Burn Mage.
Well, which kind of Dead Man's Hand? N'Zoth?
Well, Misfits played, they played like a very straightforward counter Q, once again, style of deck where they had Bring It On. Last week,
Bring It On.
Last week they had Bring It On.
Nice.
They didn't have Dirty Rats. They had Stonehill Defenders instead. And when they played against Quest Mage, their goal was to just shuffle Stonehill Defenders into the deck to try to find extra Dirty Rat.
Okay.
That play didn't pan out, but I liked the direction they went. This week, we see Dirty Rat in the opening hand.
Dirty Rat's okay in this matchup. It's not like a highlight. You can get Medivh, which is huge, but other than that, you're Dirty Ratting out like Doomsayers and card draw and low impact minions.
Yeah, the big game plan for them is just to amass an armor total that outlasts burn and pressure.
Right.
They have plenty of cards in the deck that can actually just dismantle threats from CompLexity, but one of the things you're always worried about, like you mentioned, is turn 1 Mana Worm. I hope they don't have it. When CompLexity has this Mana Worm here, this applies a lot of pressure to Misfits, and suddenly amassing that armor total becomes much more difficult.
There's no Fiery War Axe to answer it either. This is a matchup that, like we saw with slightly different cards, because no Blood Razor was available back in the Ungoro meta, but in Trinity Series 1, in the Ungoro meta, this was a fairly common matchup during that time, and a lot of people actually gave the edge to the Burn Mage, saying that it could outvalue the Control Warriors. With the Dead Man's Hand, obviously that changes some things, and the Misfits believe that has made the matchup in the latest expansion favorable for the Warrior. That's why they queued it up.
And I do agree with that, but again, this card changes a lot of stuff. Let's listen to CompLexity in here, then I want to get this damage cranking.
King mode it first.
I like it a lot. I don't think actually there's any. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like there's more.
There's the Doomsayer, right?
Okay.
I'm thinking about, but would they not just slam a Doomsayer there?
They would.
They would.
Right.
I want to play Coin Acolyte. I think it's.
I want to play Coin Acolyte too. Yeah.
Like I kind of want to coin out Medivh as well, but I think with this hand,
Coin Acolyte into block.
not even about the hand. I just think the Coin Acolyte is good.
We might not even block. Like, block is not too important against the deck, right? It might be more important to ping, maybe.
Sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure block happens next turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We buffed the Mana Worm.
Buff the Mana Worm, gives us Medivh layouts.
Acolyte. Yeah. Also, by the way, the Acolyte stops the Stonehill, right? Yeah, it just makes so much sense.
Like, obviously, Shulog is probably better than a random card, but it's 3 life total difference.
I mean, I think we just hero power, right? We want the armor after.
Benefit in saving it.
They're burning on the board.
Sure. But like, we're razoring every turn next turn. And then like, we can trade in again, shield block, hero power.
Then we miss two armor, while we like utilize the free mana, which we can utilize for Oracle or Acolyte. So I would probably shield block here.
Because I think the same story kind of holds true next turn. They don't really punish the Acolyte with anything. So we don't need to ping it. Right, I get what you're seeing, like ping the Acolyte is usually good, but...
I wouldn't, just to be safe, but...
Do that, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's get cards.
If we when we AI here, the thing they could do is they can armor up and shield slam our Acolyte for 3, right? But I don't think I mind.
No, we definitely don't care about that.
Yeah.
If that's how they have to deal with it, I'm fine with it. I don't want to ping it just because I want to play around that.
No, we AI.
Yeah. So there's like the Blood Racer, but I mean, give me a card, thank you.
You're welcome, Crane.
You're Blood Razor now?
Well, I have one.
Really?
Yeah. I have 2 of them, actually.
For real?
I opened up a lot.
Ah, I thought you meant like...
cards. Oh, I got him right here.
I was like,
you're like, oh,
that's
it's like a whirlwind happens in the studio.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's significantly less cool. Everyone's got the card. I thought, you know, like a real sword. Yeah, it's kind of sad that Misfits has to give them a card. For a favorable matchup, it's kind of going a little sideways right now, but...
Well, they don't have to give them a card, but they want to get into Battle Rage range. They want to get Blood Razor online, so that way they can benefit from Battle Rage later on as well.
They got to stop this Mana Worm. Do they want to stop it with Shield Slam, you're saying?
Well, either way, they're going to give it 1 of 2 things. Number 1, they're going to give it life. Number 2, they're going to give it cards.
Right, because if they...
To me, this situation gives it both.
Job done.
Shield Slam seems like it's for larger threats. Oftentimes you want to connect that with the Firelands Portal minion. So I kind of prefer doing the Blood Racer.
I'm just looking at the consequences of both sides. And the
There's a lot of consequences of cards,
That's
right?
sort of the gist of the Mana Worm opening. You're just...
Yeah,
a lot of consequences.
Mana Worm is good. It's just that's why Burn Mage is a really strong deck, is because when you try and counter queue it, there's just that wild card in there, that Mana Worm, where it's like, well, if they have this, sometimes my whole game plan falls apart.
Card's good.
Yeah. And it makes it really hard to control against the Mage.
As TJ used to tell me, it's the card that unlocks the key to Mage Paradise.
And now Fiery War Axe is nerfed, so honestly, the road to Mage Paradise got paved.
In gold. Follow the Mana Worm brick road.
To freedom.
I'm taking Fireball. Giddy up.
Call Boss Tome has a lot of merit because of the hand. With Medivh in your hand already, you could try and go for a value game. And not value just in the sense as like outvalue their entire deck, because they most likely have a dead man's hand in there.
Yeah, the value is to find the window of opportunity.
The value is, yeah, just to create more threats. So you just generate threats.
I like this Frostball too.
To push additional damage with the Acolyte.
Well, it prevents Misfits from, say, playing a Stonehill Defender, as we heard Crane talking about, showing they obviously did their research last week, trying to be familiar with the deck from Misfits. That's where Stan Sifka's deck building, of course, always changes wild, unpredictable, but it prevents like a Stonehill Battle Rage turn.
It prevents
this one.
Anything plus Battle Rage turn because they can't swing the weapon.
Like
so, yeah, even if like it was a Tar Creeper or an Acolyte of Pain, it's acting to really slow down Misfits' draw and put them in a position where they have less resources to respond to this big clump of burn complexities building up. So yeah, very good use of the card.
Awkward hand for Misfits as well. I mean, not really anything to do. They could potentially deny one card draw by using a Sleep with the Fishes or a Shield Slam this turn, but
with 2 Sleep with the Fishes in hand, it kind of makes some sense to do this. You don't really expect wide boards from Mage, so I think it's pretty fair use. But let's listen in Complexity and hear about this double Fireball plan.
I mean,
probably Glyph to block.
If again, yeah.
What is that to polymorph?
Yeah. It's 3 damage versus like clearing and any kind of annoying guy.
Goes into an alley cat that you discover or an armor smith. I think it's for polymorph.
I think it's also polymorph. It's definitely worth.
Wait, against what is it good? Against armor smith and?
Yeah.
Both armor smiths, like alley armor
okay.
smith, right? As well. Both of them. Also just the natural one.
Yeah, we ice block here, right?
Play the block.
Just ping.
Just
pass. Oh, hello. Two Dead Man's Hand, right? Hero Power Pass.
Yeah, Hero Power Pass, right?
I'm pretty sure we Dead Man's Hand this. We get the 2 Bring It Ons in. The next card we might not want.
You can get rid out of bad cards and then...
Think about it. If we Dead Man's Hand here, or we could even like sleep and then Dead Man's Hand, because then the odds of us drawing it are
We need to
higher.
hurry with Dead Man's Hand. We can accumulate even better hand.
Sure, but if we get like Acolyte next turn, it becomes a bit awkward, doesn't it? Because then we want to draw with it. And even if we draw any minion whatsoever, we're going to Battle Rage with it.
I don't even think that drawing a Bring It On is very good here, because like we could be burning on the board very, very soon, because they can play Medi, and I want to make sure I have Harrison in bit time, or you know, having the card draw. It's more essential to get Acolyte to get Oracle here, and I don't want to draw another Bring It On next turn, so I don't think it's necessary to just do that Man's Hand here.
Okay, just pass them.
I think I like that more.
Me too. And like we can just throw away a Frost Nova if we don't find anything playable.
Yeah, we don't need Frost Nova.
Archaeologists we cannot play.
Frostbolt may be better.
Is it?
Try to save Bolt, actually. Well,
okay.
We got 3 freezes. I want to just throw away freeze.
Yeah, I like throwing away Frost Nova.
Yeah, I agree, actually.
Next turn, the portal is... If he doesn't play anything again, the portal actually removes like 1 extra armor, right?
Yep.
In Alex game. It like leaves us a little bit more flexible in terms of what we can draw.
Like I will need to get rid out of Brawl and these cards. Battle Rage, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I just armor up. I don't mind if they burn me a card, right? Even if they burn Dead Man's Hand, if I shuffle 9 cards, then I will win the value game, right?
Yeah, just Hero Power. Get the armor.
A lot of weird hand size stuff going on here. Complexity, of course, had to throw away Frost Nova, where they would have burned their next draw. And then Misfits here, we don't care if we burn. We have a Dead Man's Hand for potentially 9 cards. That'll win us the game.
Right, so Complexity should realize at that point that one of the cards in Misfits' hand is Dead Man's Hand, because the Misfits seem very comfortable with overdrawing a card, and they wouldn't be so comfortable with it if they didn't already have Dead Man's Hand.
Yeah, we saw the slight punish there from Misfits' side as well. Complexity choosing to Frost Nova instead of Frost Bolt. Acolyte draw right off the top.
Well,
and
yeah.
It's card draw.
They saw that there was a dead hand, so there's potential for Battle Rage being stuck in the hand, so any minion could kind of punish not using the Frost Nova there slightly. I mean, not using the Frostbolt slightly. So.
I like their game plan, though. I think saving the Frostbolt is better.
Mm-hmm. You don't know what you need from this Frostbolt. So you mentioned earlier that Misfits in Week 1 had Bring It On in their Warrior deck. So CompLexity, they've been kind of talking a lot about cards that were played in Week 1, so they may be expecting Bring It Ons. So committing Burn to face early on in the game is like discarding a card against Bring It On, because you're not going to be able to outburn 20 extra armor gain. So they need to win the value game, but they don't know that yet because they aren't completely aware of the Bring It Ons yet.
Dead. Burn as well.
They need to assemble board pressure.
Well, I think Misfits is going to assemble a fairly new deck here.
Well, it's just like they're going to try and fatigue the mage. They're going to go the Dead Man's Hands to cycle back Dead Man's Hands and Bring It Ons and Cold Lights.
I think I like Slam Execute a lot of times in that position, but looks like they want the extra Execute in their deck.
And they should be able to outvalue all of CompLexity's deck and cycle through towards more removal and more armor gain. The Shield Slam being able to kill anything in combination with the Dead Man's Hand. The Execute being able to kill anything in combination with the Slam, and just so much card draw in hand. It seems like they have this game pretty well locked up at this point to be able to remove everything forever.
The only thing they have to do is stay alive through CompLexity's Burn. So the Medivh is the crucial piece of that by getting minion pressure. But there's Brawl in hand, and you heard Stansifka mention they have Harrison Jones in the deck.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a little bit harder to find the Harrison Jones with the Dead Man's Hand adding a bunch of cards, but let's hear CompLexity's thoughts on what's happening here.
My hand is too full.
Okay.
Do we attack into Acolytes?
I don't see how milling one card out of his 21 is ever relevant now, so I don't think we do.
We just save the
We save the dagger.
Yeah.
We want to get minions.
So kind of you to join me.
Okay. Because we can start with slamming that, right?
What now?
Yeah. I don't think we want a Dead Man's Hand again. Blood Razor.
I don't think we want a Dead Man's Hand. Like, we have enough resources in the deck.
Yeah.
I think, like,
So how do we empty this hand? Like, is there any efficient way of killing this guy? Yeah.
I would execute here, and
I mean, we could trade our 2-2 in and just sleep with fishes.
I think sleep might be good if they play bunch of spells and.
I mean, we have Brawl, right? We have triple Whirlwind. Execute is better than you think. I would not execute this. I'll just trade sleep, see what you draw. If you draw nothing, just School Hero Power.
I would just do this, and probably play Bring It On actually. Yeah. One.
Yeah, I definitely like Firelands Ball in the face.
Yep.
It's
It's a monkey face as well.
Yeah, let's Firelands Ball face first.
Yep.
But I want to protect our guy, right?
You pay, I protect.
Delay his face.
I'm down with valeting his face.
And just ping, actually.
But some Cold Light Oracle or something?
Yeah, there's always the threat of more Cold Light Oracles. It's just a board most of the time he has to brawl.
Yeah, I like
think
Valet
so.
face.
Time runs out on me.
Yeah, let's just hit him in the face. I like it too.
You are on fire.
We want to force out a board that he has to brawl, and then we want to win.
Even if he has Brawl, we need the 6/6 to live, right?
Mhm.
Hope we get lucky. 6/6 or 5/5 are kind of the same. A chance of that happening, but
No. You want to shield slam the big guy, so you can trade the 2/2 into the 5/5/1/1 into the 2/3, right? So you shield slam the 6/6, then you hit the 1/1 into the 2/3, the 2/2 into the 5/5. But obviously Dead Man's Hand before all of this. So I'd go Dead Man's Hand, shield slam the 6/6, trade the 2/2 into the 5.
I don't need second Harrison.
Sure, but you want to draw the cards from the Dead Man's Hand, right?
Why?
So you get the 10 armor.
Do this.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, okay, we do it in this order. Yeah. Because then we hit the 5/5. Yeah. Sleep. Harrison then.
Oh. Okay.
Tailored this for this week for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to draw?
Too really soon.
I think we do. I think the plan is to
Yeah, I think we should go fast, right?
find all our cards, find Alex, find Pyro, and choose a win. I think you want to fire one fireball to his face.
Fireball Frost Nova? Or what's that?
Yeah, fireball Frost Nova.
What do we do next turn then?
But we need Alex to stick, right? Somehow.
What to do? What to time runs out on me.
Yeah.
Do we? So you could polymorph it. You can polymorph it.
They still have so many removals, so
Yeah.
they still have execute, shield slam.
I mean, they pretty much built this deck to beat Mage, right?
I mean, we just need to, like, the only way we win is that if they don't have armor gain. We draw Alex, we get them to 15, they're at 21, they can armor up to 23, and then we almost have enough in hand. Like, that's the plan. It's not likely, but...
I agree with everything they said.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why Stan Cifka has been such a force in this style of format, where you can build from week to week.
Right.
Is his deck building ability. Like, he anticipated this exact scenario coming up. Harrison Jones in the deck, Dirty Rat in the deck. This is really tough to win.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that when you think about it, this deck kind of emulates some of the banned decks. For example, like, banned decks are most often Druid and Priest, because Druid and Priest have end games that have ultimate win conditions that if they reach their end game, you're screwed. Which is what this kind of deck does. Once you get the Bring It Ons, the Cold Light Oracles, and the double Dead Man's Hand, your Dead Man's Hand cycles Dead Man's Hand, you have infinite armor gain, infinite removal.
It's a matter of drawing it.
You're able to win all of the control mirrors at the end. So a lot of players are bringing anti-aggro control decks because the ultimate win condition control decks of Priest and Druid are being banned out, and this deck is like another Priest or Druid that gets to fill the void when those decks are banned and punish the people that are building decks in anticipation of no Priest or Druid.
Yeah, you see CompLexity here holding on to the Alex Straza. They're trying to get Misfits to potentially expend that last piece of removal, hope that Alex sticks. I mean, you could see Crane's face when he was talking about it, like, well, yeah, of course they have a billion pieces of removal, but I mean, you gotta hope.
Yeah, you had to do something, and this is the best shot they have. Mage is not a deck that can often, you know, stick too much minion pressure. So, and this is not a deck that is ever going to get burned out over the top with multiple Bring It Ons.
Here we go. So Alex Straza will meet a very quick demise.
There's 25 burn for CompLexity.
They could pull 3 of it out as well.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they'll do.
You may even get a Doomsayer.
You are on fire.
That monkey's excited.
And bring it on. It also kind of scouts a little bit for Archmage Antonidas. If Archmage Antonidas had been just kind of chilling in the hand the whole game, then you know, 4 Bring It Ons, getting that guy for free could be a little devastating, but it's not the case. Drawing first to be able to set up Dead Man's Hand for Bring It Ons or more. He doesn't even want any more Bring It Ons. He says he's got enough life, he just wants more removal.
Yeah, I think at this point he's looking for Cold Light Oracles as well. Just to cycle through the fatigue and burn out as quickly as possible.
Sure.
You know, they're out of range of any burn potential from CompLexity right now. Start ending the game.
Yeah, so there's no need for them to actually play the second Bring It On here because there's no way CompLexity can deal 30 in 1 turn. So
notice the non-attacks here from Misfits as well. They're simply trying to not activate Ice Barrier and keep CompLexity potentially off of a second Ice Barrier in a lot of situations, but that was indeed checkmate. The tailored build from Stansifka is successful, and they tie the set at 3 games apiece. So that means they're sticking on Warrior. Mage is now gone for CompLexity, and the first team to get 6 wins is going to take this set.
One thing that's really interesting about that Warrior deck is I don't think we saw a single copy of Fiery War Axe.
Most Warriors have cut Fiery War Axe at this point,
really?
I anticipate.
Most have cut Fiery War Axe?
I would say almost any control deck has cut Fiery War Axe at this point.
Well, yesterday they had Fiery War Axe.
That was in Pirate Warrior.
It was in the Zoth Warrior, too.
They did not have Fiery War Axe, I don't recall.
I don't know. I think Fiery War Axe is a pretty good card still at 3 mana for helping to control the board.
I mean, it can't buff your Tyrion after you play it. What's even the point?
It's just so much worse than Rallying Blade. Why would you play it?
Every Hunter deck has so many secrets in it that you get those extra bow charges. Fiery War Axe can't do that.
Yeah.
Warrior doesn't even have secrets.
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense to cut it in this deck because of the extra draw of Cold Light to assemble the fishes combos and other stuff like that.
Not only that, but how key of a card Blood Razor is to the deck.
Sure.
Fiery War Axe really competes with that. Oftentimes you just don't have a reason to expend the extra charge, so you're just overriding your Fiery War Axe in a lot of those spots. So I personally, when I was building the Dead Man's Hand Warriors, was actually cutting Fiery War Axe when it was 2 mana.
Wow. Yeah. When it was 2 mana, that's crazy.
I wasn't trying to beat aggro decks. I was trying to beat all the mid-rangey, combo-ish, weird burn-you-out decks.
And that's what they're trying to do, so it makes sense. That's why they cut it.
Yeah, and you can see how you do that. It's 41 extra armor.
Not too bad. A decent amount of armor gain there.
32 cards drawn. There's still like 20 left.
Yeah, they drew more cards than they started with in the deck.
Good old Dead Man's Hand.
Now, if you are on Team CompLexity here, and you just saw this wacky Dead Man's Hand deck, what's the best option to try and counter it?
Well, I think that depends on how the rest of their decks are built. To me, pure aggro, I think, can operate very well here. The thing to look out for is the fact that there are a lot of big payoff cards. So Sleep with the Fishes and Brawl, obviously 2 big payoffs for Warrior, but they have to have those. With no Fiery War Axe, it's difficult for them to actually disrupt early starts, which means that damage piles on when those Sleep with the Fishes and when those Brawls are coming out here. So if they're playing Murloc Paladin, I think that's actually a very good matchup in this spot.
I think so as well. I think Pirate Warrior is also probably pretty good. We saw no Fiery War Axes, we saw no Armor Smiths, and only Harrison Jones for weapon removal, which can often come down a little bit too late or be too hard to utilize while dealing with the board to effectively remove the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, if your opponent has a Kor'kron Elite and then they play an Arcanite Reaper and they hit you in the face, Harrison Jones!
Yeah, it's not the greatest way to remove the weapon. So any sort of aggressive deck seems like it'll do very well against this combo Dead Man's Hand Warrior from Misfits.
Yeah, the key card in that matchup certainly is Sleep with the Fishes, I think, for Misfits in that case. But we did see a pair of them.
Yeah, they have that, but no Armor Smiths, no Fiery War Axes, no Doomsayers, no other anti-aggro tools.
Dirty Rat.
They have Dirty Rat, which is kind of fun. It's a
lot of the aggro decks that are out there right now, they thrive on big pressure. So either Bittertide Hydra or Murloc Paladin, for instance, has Tyrion, and even just hitting Gentle Megasaur can be a problem sometimes.
If they're able to take out this Murloc Paladin,
we greatly anticipate Murloc Paladin being queued up here.
Especially since the Warrior wasn't utilized earlier on to counter into the Quest Mage, so it's most likely some sort of controlling Warrior archetype. Then this crazy Dead Man's Hand Warrior could run away with the entire series.
Ooh, Ravaging Ghoul Sleep with the Fishes opening hand.
Already. Even the Dirty Rat's not too bad with that because if something bad happens, a lot of times it gets caught up in the sleep.
Coin operates really well here as well. A lot of times your opponent has Gentle Megasaur. They simply get a lot of power. You have Ravaging Ghoul, Coin Sleep with the Fishes. Now, again, the problem with that is the lack of Fiery War Axe and the lack of Doomsayer means that the damage can really pile up in the face of that. So is the damage too much by that point is what I'm looking for.
It's going to be tricky. They're going to keep just Ravaging Ghoul and Sleep with the Fishes, get rid of the Dirty Rat.
Pair of slams.
Slams are great at helping you, keep a decent hand size and do exactly what the Fiery War Axe kind of does, which is react to the singleton threats so that the board doesn't start accumulating.
Hydrologist really the big one there.
Just taking care of business.
Like the Megasaur keep.
But not even just Hydrologist, but... yeah, they got the curve. They're rocking it.
Well, they're missing one piece of this puzzle.
Just the War Leader.
That's right.
They have the correct one-drop here, the best one-drop for the situation. Doesn't die to Slam, and is a Murloc.
The correct one is the 1-2.
No, the 1-2
you're happy
you could
to see Coin Slam.
Are you?
Very happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Brawl gets picked up as well, but again, if the damage piles up too much, that's where Misfits is in trouble here. So this next draw from CompLexity could be quite literally close to game ending. Murloc War Leader is absolutely the best draw in their deck.
Right. So what Misfits could potentially do here is set up for a situation if, like, they wanted to be able to use Sleep with the Fishes next turn. They could use like a double slam into Coin Sleep so they could avoid the Gentle Megasaur problem, or they could hold out and hope the Gentle Megasaur doesn't roll something to protect these Murlocs and wait for the Ravaging Ghoul Coin Sleep later on and just armor now, or they could even just try and cycle Battle Rage, assuming they won't have time to do it in the future, looking for more removal.
I thought Hearthstone was easy. That's a lot of stuff on turn 2.
Yeah, and
I just click buttons.
I don't think you need to start doing the slams. And I don't think you want to set up to do the... If you set up for the... Well, let's just listen into CompLexity.
Punish them when they draw the wacky cards. Wacky cards. Like Righteous Hero, yeah. Smack, smack.
The light dims.
Am I doing this right?
I mean, this turn you could have done a little bit more.
You could have, like, War Leader, I guess, this turn. That was a bit better, maybe.
Tempo positioning for the Death Knight later on. Is they running it? Probably running it, right? You always run it in this type of slow deck. It's just so good.
Yeah, let's just let's be greedy, yeah. Let's be greedy.
I would just brawl, and obviously if the 1-1 wins the brawl, then we don't mind it, right?
Yeah. Greed is good.
Brawl?
I don't care.
We just made a song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So War Leader, but I think the Megasaur is better.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think on curve is slightly better.
Let's see what we get.
I like Wind Fury. Cause like
but the fishes thingy, he would have used the fish combo now, right?
I feel like
you don't want to give the Megasaur.
I feel like it's more likely.
Ghouls and they can still fishes. Ghoul and fishes.
That's a really good point.
So either they're being greedy or they're setting up for point brawl.
I kind of want to take health.
Okay, take it.
I'm honestly not that scared of brawl compared to the other combo.
Okay, take health. Go.
Because brawl leaves as a minion, right?
Yeah.
I think the sleep
I like
is
health too,
infinitely worse.
actually.
Yeah, we need to brawl here, right?
We have to brawl, right?
Yeah.
Fourth one is fine.
That's bad.
I actually think we can just scale Bane.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we scale Bane.
Yeah, I think so too.
Next time we can do the play with some secrets. With a secret, rather. Potentially.
I really liked the Megasaur health in defensive Sleep with the Fishes. They ran into Brawl, but they have a reload to Brawl.
Right.
And I think that's really the big key here.
Yeah, whereas if Ravaging Ghoul Fishes came out, it would have been a lot worse for their position.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Is, I think, the adequate way to describe it.
Seeing Misfits keep 2 cards off the mulligan makes Fish's combos a lot more likely.
Yeah, you heard Crane say it too. I mean, he would have used it if he had it, right? And then they, after some discussion, went, well, Ravaging Ghoul.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're right.
It's a card a lot of players have been cutting in Warrior recently, but they were able to identify that it is in the deck because it was played last game.
Very good catch.
And these Scalebanes, man, we've seen them all over the Trinity Series. People are teching in this mid-range threat card in many decks. Paladin, Rogue, even Evolve Shaman has played Scalebane now in this tournament. And it's, for these kind of matchups in particular, it's just so much of a mid-game threat and generates additional threats.
And that's really the big purpose of the card, is to be a big nuisance, continue to force removal, and that opens the way gate for your future threats later on. So at that point, once Misfits expends a bunch of removal, it's very difficult for them to just kill small minions. That turns on Spikeridge Steed, it turns on Bone Mare. Means that Curator may stick and actually get some damage in. There's so much that Paladin can follow up with that it just makes so much sense in this deck.
Yeah, it's a crazy powerful card. If you just look at it, if you have control of the board, which you almost always do against a controlled deck because they're playing removal spells and just reacting to what you do. So if at any point you have a minion sticking and you play a Scalebane, it's like an 8/5 in stats that threatens to generate additional stats, and it's divided among 2 bodies, so it's not vulnerable to hard removal, which is all control decks play, is just lots of hard removal to remove threats. So it's crazy strong.
Steed up! I was waiting for it. Misfits facing down some trouble here. Let's hear how they want to handle it.
What now?
Slam right.
Slam what? Our guy or their guy?
Their guy right. Because if we didn't get anything good, probably gonna rat Hero Power. Just wait it out. If we slam their guy and get execute or something.
Like if we get execute or
trade our dude in.
Or shield slam, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean if we get execute, we slam execute, trade Battle Rage, right? Dirty rat, I feel. It's painful, but might save us 7 life, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna connect. I would probably second slam and hero power just.
Okay.
I just want to smack his face.
Yeah. You do that.
Yeah, just Bone Mare and hit him.
Bone Mare and hit him. That's such a
If you
good
think
call.
about it, it's fine.
No. Let's get him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess you could have thought about War Leader. No,
we had the time. I like this a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
It's just because we kind of had the time, so we could like.
Yeah, we also give them less time to think.
Guess the best one is Whirlwind Battle Rage. Get a Shield Slammer execute. And we're still dead. We need to draw both shields. Right. Okay. Guess we played Dirty Rat because they might have Doomsday for some reason. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just dead.
19. Yeah. Can we not? Okay, fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You cannot show the Consecrate.
Yeah, we could have just shown the War Leader, but it's whatever. But I mean, they pretty much know it's the same list as last week, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And that certainly was a dead man's hand.
Wow! Yeah, well done by CompLexity. They're able to identify the weaknesses of a wacky deck. They got to play against that dead man's hand warrior. They noticed, hey, there's not a lot of anti-aggro tools in this, and then they swiftly ran it over with an aggro deck. So just good thinking on their feet, able to adapt to kind of wacky situations.
Yeah, it really was well played, and now the series at 4-3 in favor of CompLexity. It's been bouncing back and forth, but it's still anyone's match, of course, with Misfits on deck to choose what counter they want. But we got to go to a brief intermission. When we come back, we're going to see the conclusion of this set in our first match of the day. Don't go anywhere.
Who's that pro?
Why would they try to trick us? Like, that's... Oh boy, they really got us with that trick. Boy, man, oh boy, they got us.
You shall not pass. You shall not pass.
It's done! Why would they try to trick us? Like, that's... Oh boy, they really got us with that trick. Play management. Oh boy, they got us.
You guys seeing this?
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
We are live from the Intel Esports Arena. This is Trinity Series Season 2, of course, brought to you by Intel, Twitch, and ESL. I'm Nathan, that's Admiral Zamora. And joining me is 2014 World Champion James Firebat Kosicic, and of course, Breaker of Priests, and I can't think of the rest of Daenerys' titles to make Hearthstone references to, so I'll just leave it at that. But we're going into Game 8 of this set now.
Game 8.
CompLexity 4-3 lead.
4-3 lead, so that means Misfits are selecting the deck they want to play into the opposition, and the opposition is a Murloc Paladin build. And they have chosen the standard counter that has been used, seems like forever, against Paladin, and that is Evolved Shaman. Probably
days of old.
Yeah. The interesting part is going to be trying to see if they can get away with beating the Murloc Paladin while also concealing whatever tech they have in there for the counter queue.
And George is taking off the coat. He's getting serious.
Yeah, looks like he's might be missing his date. The series has been going on a little bit longer than he maybe anticipated.
Baby, I got esports to do.
Yeah.
She's like, all right. He's like, you can watch it, twitch.tv/ESL_Hearthstone. You can also tweet at ESL Hearthstone with the hashtag Trinity Series.
I'm sure his girlfriend's going to be doing that.
And if he tags you in it.
And if his girlfriend tags me, my mom will retweet it.
Yeah.
I'll get some wide reach out there. She's actually accumulating a lot of followers, which is odd.
Oh, it's Fire Mom.
Sure. Perfect hand here. Well,
Ooh,
perfect.
Ninja drawn for CompLexity, though. That is a lot of times a key card in this matchup.
A lot of times it's met by a devolve and you're sad, but when it's not, it is one of the cards that has the potential to swing unfavorables, much like this matchup.
The other thing, too, is that if you happen to be in a fairly even board state, a lot of times if Finja gets devolved, it means that Spike Ridge Steed is open. So there is some stuff to weigh for Misfits in that situation. Finja is just one of those cards that is it is a very scary card to face down. That's why it's a 5-mana 2/4 instead of a 5/5.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card in Murloc decks, I would say. It's
For a while it was good, and just non-Murloc decks.
Yeah,
just 2 Warriors, 2 Bluegills, get them.
Well, if you have 4 Murlocs, isn't that kind of a Murloc deck?
5, but
5. Oh yeah, 5. Yeah. There you go. That's a large percentage. You know, you got 5 out of 30 there. What percent of you needs to be Murloc for you to be Murloc?
This isn't an evolved Shaman deck. This is just a make cards Shaman deck. The vast majority of things in here are cards.
Yeah, really, they are all. It's more totem than anything.
Yeah, totem Shaman.
Right. But if you were 5/30th Murloc, I'd have to kind of identify you as slightly a fish.
I feel offended right now. Why are you gotta label everything?
Well, it's people do that, man. It's not me. It's society.
Man, Misfits' hand is double doppelgangster this early is not what you want to see.
It's suboptimal for sure. You don't want very many 5-costing cards on turn 2. But the fact that they have the Jade Claws, they have the Primal Fin Totem, and they have the 1-drop is really strong for them, so they have a lot of ability to snowball this board early. Let's hear what Complexity thoughts are, how they're going to win this unfavorable.
Except when they keep 3.
Yeah, it has to be a hard draw, just right. We can just wait a little bit.
We should trade as well, right?
Yeah, we should trade.
Yeah, I'll play hard draw just though. You can just one time to think about the secret as well. It's always redemption, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get away.
We want tempo.
Bad. Yeah, it's like
I think we should trade.
Yeah, trade the damage one.
Yeah.
And we can weapon that.
We could think about Stunhill, but then they can... Oh.
Just... that can get better later, though, right? Because, like, okay, you develop a 2/2 and I guess a secret behind it.
I think I want to do it, actually.
Let me
Yeah.
The weapon, it's so nice for that pirate turn, right?
Yeah, exactly. I actually like it way more. Way more. Or you just Stunhill.
No, it's definitely not Stunhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that too.
Alright. Go for the Craze Alchemist.
You love my new recipe.
So I guess we lightning that, right?
It's tricky, right? Probably yes. Like if we Flamtongue and it's Noble Second, then we are kind of punished.
Yeah, we have to lightning this.
Yeah, I would lightning here.
Yeah.
Let me go face, yeah.
Redemption.
Oh no, best trade.
Go face.
You can see how tough the matchup is, and this is with Misfits having a fairly shaky hand. I mean, 2 Doppelgangsters is not going to be good in 2 Finja, and even with those occupied slots, they're still able to keep Complexity off of developing a board.
Right, but typically speaking, the Shaman gets the advantage in the early game. In the late game is where the Paladin sometimes has a chance to sneak a win in this unfavorable, because normally there's more early game in the Shaman, there's more removal in the Shaman. Shaman wins the board, and then all of Paladin's late game is really useless because they don't have the board. But that all can kind of change here since the opening went fairly even. So now Complexity has the opening to actually get value out of the Finja. And if they can get value out of the Finja, that means Sunkeeper Terram's going to be live, Bone Mare is going to be live. All of these late game threats to build the Conga line are going to come together.
Yeah, and that's really a big talking point here as well, is that Shaman not only needs to check the early board, but they also need to get some value at some point. So Evolve a big draw for Misfits. I think Thrall is a big draw for them at this point, but the fact that they haven't been able to keep a board presence, I think is putting them in a really tough spot.
They need something else right now. Otherwise, this Finja could be a little bit disastrous for him. Doppelgangster's okay development on the board, but it's not fantastic.
Well, this is a somewhat interesting spot here for me because I see Finja coming down. I can see a Rallying Blade attack. If Rallying Blade attacks, that means the Flame Tongue Totem comes down, makes sure the Finja dies in that aspect.
Yeah,
but that would mean that Misfits is not playing another minion at that point as well. So
you may just want to play another Doppelgangster to play as much stuff as possible.
Are you thinking about Consecration, though?
Well, you got to think they just didn't consecrate a Doppelgangster. I guess playing Finja is still maybe better, right?
Yes,
it's a
I
tough
think so.
call. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. You have to think, are we in a bad enough position that if they have Consecrate, we lose anyway? Because all of their plays are pretty bad against Consecrate.
Sure, but I think that with Doppelgangster in hand, and this being your second one...
But yeah, play this scenario out, right? So you want to play a Flame Tongue Totem. You want to do what alongside it? Like
Manatide.
Manatide and Flame. If they Consecrate and kill your Flame Tongue Totem, you are screwed.
Sure, but if you play the second Doppelgangster and the same thing happens, you're donezo as well. With the Doppelgangster in hand, I think they can find it evolve still.
All right, well, you're playing towards the top deck then. I think it's better just to play towards the
That's Hearthstone.
Well, I mean, playing 3 more 2/2s is not
bad. The Young
bad.
Savage told me this. You don't play with just the cards in your hand, you play with the cards in your deck. Let's hear how CompLexity is going to do that.
A gangster, right?
Do we?
Gangster.
Like, we can also just kill the Manatide. Like, they obviously don't have Evolve.
Yeah. I kind of like killing Manatide.
So, like...
denying the draw.
And then you could, like, get Wind Fury after. Right, with the Megasaur.
Yeah.
So...
I like it more.
Yeah, I think it's Rock Pool, and then kill a Manatide.
I hate it. You can do it.
Oh, really? You want to kill the 2/2?
Let me think.
30 seconds.
I think you kill a Manatide.
Crane?
Move quickly.
You decide for the boss.
You have to go
got the
mental.
boss. Yeah, you decide.
You gotta go fast for the Megasaur as well. You decide.
So they need Evolve?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
What to do?
Guess we go all face with at least a War Leader True Silver.
What to do?
We'd go face for 12 into 10. Have a relatively big board. What do you think we do? Stan?
Play Jade Lightning 5/4 and Jade Claws, but don't go face with Jade Claws.
Why not?
Just keep it, because like it's... Yeah, just do it. It's delay on NA.
We don't attack with a weapon, right?
I wouldn't. I would do Corsair because of Flame Tongue and
This is kind of messy though.
Oh, that might be... So we trade with Finja first, right?
Yeah, like we trade 4 guys and we Tarim, I'm pretty sure.
Jeez.
Wait. No, you go with Finch into a 2/2, into Doppelgangster. And then a 2/3 into a 2/2, and then the 2/2s go into the 1/1. Okay, Finja into 2/2, into Doppelgangster. I'm pretty sure. Trust me.
Okay.
Because you're gonna Tarim after, anyways.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
And then you go with your 4/3 into a 2/2. Into the Doppelgangster.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
To gangster. Rock pool into gangster.
Move quickly.
Rock pool into gangster. No. Rock pool into double gangster.
Okay.
And then full value trade with the other two into the small guys, and then play terrain.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I kind of wanted to clear the board, but
it's the same, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to play with Hungry Crab, you're going to hope you draw him early. And not drawing him early here has led to this spot. Finja is the major payoff card that Misfits never handled.
It's a great tech choice, though. If you're going to be utilizing Shaman to counter Murloc Paladin, which has been the most common usage of Shaman throughout the course of the Trinity series, might as well make sure you win that matchup. Ironically enough, they are losing it. Even with the tech. They didn't have that bad of an opening. It's really just the power of Finja. But maybe this Hungry Crab is enough to bring him back.
Well,
do you think?
No.
Maybe it's...
Where?
Maybe they could just draw Evolve for the Doppelgangster.
Yeah, well, I can... Yeah, okay.
Roll 3 high mains.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Oh, they're gonna need some taunts.
Yeah, a little bit of a missequence there. If you roll the totem first and get taunt totem, it can be next to the flame tongue, making it 2/2 instead of an 0/2. $369.
Looks like 19 to me.
Yeah.
I think the bigger story here is CompLexity still has the board. Finja summoning 4 extra Murlocs apparently is pretty good.
It's not bad. I hear it. It's okay. Just get sick value trades again. Making sure to clear the board is a pretty big priority. You know Devolve isn't in their hand, so you can commit the kings if you want, but I don't think it's super necessary. Leaving up this Hungry Crab doesn't seem to have too many ways to get punished.
Baby. Oh my.
So I like trying to see, can you set up lethal here?
I think killing all their stuff is lethal, basically.
Well, the way you lose this game is they Doppelgangster evolve into something that is too strong.
Or they devolve you into a Doomsayer.
Or they devolve you into a Doomsayer or something. Giving them more time to draw those combos is how you lose. They have 1 Flame Tongue left. Them Flame Tonguing a minion up isn't going to help them.
Bloodlust doesn't really do much here.
Yeah, Bloodlusting up to trade doesn't help them, so they have 5.
Oh my gosh.
15 damage on the board now. Let's listen into Misfits and hear if they think they might have a chance here.
Pass.
Thinking. So we have 8 face damage. Turn after they will have. Wow. Just hero power. See what
pass, right?
I take the 0/7 for sure.
Yeah. Just pass. Has to be passed, right? We can't win if we play this. If we sacrifice this, we lose.
I agree. Yeah, just pass.
Put your faith in the light.
Yeah, hero power. Portal.
Play it, right?
Yeah. Now it could be worth considering direction.
I think we play it, right?
Wait. It's a little obvious.
What?
We play it, right?
Not sure. I'm thinking. Wait.
There is little time.
Okay, I would play it.
So would I.
Yeah.
Positioning's irrelevant.
Yeah, it's
Or you can put it on like that. It's better with Flame Tongue or with Bloodlust.
What's our last deck?
Do that.
Yeah, just do that.
Our blessing too.
Yeah, sure. Evolve doesn't do anything. I mean, get a freaking 7-drop.
Good job, you're good.
That was better. The Hungry Crab on the Consecrate.
Good job.
5-4 lead for CompLexity. Paladin once again continues to be a key deck in lineups. It pulls them ahead, and now the final remaining deck for Misfits is Rogue.
And Rogue's a powerful class. Particularly, Rogue doesn't actually struggle too bad against Paladin, with a lot of pretty good removal tools and a lot of great ways to gain tempo. Plus, Backstab SI is just insanely powerful against Murloc synergy decks, just keeping those tribal synergies off the board.
They got to win 3 straight games with this, though.
It's possible.
So they're going to take this set.
If that's a controlling warrior type, which I kind of assume based on how they've been queuing the decks that it may be, and then there's the Warlock deck, which will probably be a controlling Warlock deck because that's just kind of the norm. Rogue is decent in those matchups, all of the matchups remaining. So I don't think Misfits is completely out of it yet. I think they have a chance to be able to make stuff happen with Rogue. It is believed to be, you know, a tier 1 deck on the same power level as Druid and Priest.
And this is where they wanted to anchor, it seems, as well.
Yeah, usually you want to try and set up ways for your strongest deck to be able to sweep your opponent's entire lineup. So oftentimes you'll see whichever doesn't get banned of Rogue, Druid, or Priest doing that.
Well, George C. is looking focused, but here we go. Murloc Paladin versus what looks like Tempo Rogue, and that is Vicious Fledgling, Sorrow Knight Chain Gang, and Zeril.
Yeah.
Are you sure they didn't queue up an arena deck?
This is a deck I saw Kranich playing.
Ugh, this is awful.
It's not good. The Shadowcaster extremely slow, obviously used to create more value later on in the game and against some of the controller decks. Bone Mare is kind of your finisher card, so a little bit slow for Misfits here. But this is one of the Tempo Rogue decks that I believe is going to be playing the Curator package and Cold Light Oracle, as well as the Vicious Fledglings that we already saw.
Job's done.
Both decks are off to a little bit of a slow start.
I don't know if the job's done, whoever said that.
The job has just begun.
I don't know if Misfits is going to have a very reasonable chance in this game. I mean, if they picked the next 2 cards they drew, I still think they're in trouble.
It's going to be a little tough. They don't have any removal currently for the Murlocs. Fortunately for them, there aren't a lot of Murlocs. So
their hand right now is 22 mana, and it's turn 2.
And they're trying to fight for the board.
And one of the cards costs 0, by the way.
It's a good 0-costing card, though. They're going to have to get creative with the mid-game here to try and make something happen. It's not
CompLexity doesn't have one of those lightning-fast punishing starts, though. I think that's the bit of breathing room that Misfits is going to have here.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster. If CompLexity had just went 1-drop into 2-drop into 3-drop, game would just be over. But because CompLexity also has a slow hand, that gives Misfits a chance here. They have a little bit of wiggle room to have these awkward starts and maybe recover it somehow. It'd be interesting to see what kind of board recovery mechanisms this kind of Tempo Rogue is playing. Oftentimes, Tempo Rogue decks don't play many board recovery mechanisms, and if they're playing like a Prince variant, they may not even have Eviscerate to come back on the board.
Wow.
Redemption, just trying to keep as much minions on the board and pressure as possible.
Maybe this is the start of something. Let's listen to Misfits and see how they're thinking. This opening is rough.
So you're thinking Kelesef Shadow Step, Hero Power, the 2/2 path? I think I want to replay it, dude.
You don't have combo for Slayer turn 5, and I feel it's super crucial.
So what do we do? Kelesef Shadow Step?
Yeah, obviously Kelesef Shadow Step. But then the question is, do we play it?
We have coins in the deck and backstabs. Second Shadow Step, we have 5 cards, 2 turns to draw them.
Yeah, but it's like just +2/+2 in terms of like you definitely play Prince and Shadow Step it.
We're hitting the 2/2, right?
I would probably play it actually.
Yeah, so would I. Do we hit the 2/3 to play around 2-3.
I would hit it. Just hit it.
Oh, they still didn't get patches out.
You like just getting the weapon now, and then just trade the minion.
Let me think.
And just keep the weapon around.
We could
It's like
we could coin the Blessing of Kings as well.
But then we can't Finja, right? I think we rather Finja and then do something with the Finja.
I think we, at this point, double Shadow Step on Prince. I think we're very desperate to get Finja value and get on board that way.
About smoking him.
I don't think the smart plan is going to work out.
Yeah, I like the blade as well, I guess. Well, we could also just... Wait, what if we just...
Stonehill?
Yeah.
It's just a 1-4 though. Like, isn't it better to have the weapon online for after Finja? Like, we set up weapon and we get coin Finja and then we have...
Do we attack with the weapon into the 2-2?
I think you trade the 2-1. Because like, it dies to his dagger anyways. I think having our weapon charged available for later is more valuable.
Fuck George! He's such a noob.
So
expensive hand. Like, now you just coin Finja.
Okay.
We still have 2 war leaders?
Yeah, we have all the Murlocs except the Hydrologist and a Rock Pool.
Yeah.
It's...
Why would we pass?
Cannot utilize the Finja.
We can just Shadowcast her. We don't care if they get dudes. We have Swashbuckler that summons a 3-3, and then we Vile Spine to clear. And then we have 3 minions to Bone Mare. Pretty sure we just Shadowcast her. Like, if the worst case for us is the double 2-3, or War Leader plus 2-3, right? And that's just not happening. We can never beat that. We have to just jam Shadowcaster, dude.
Wait.
Trust me. I'm a doctor. We jam it.
Okay, let's play Shadowcaster.
Yeah.
The shadows.
I think we can still win this, honestly. We also have 10 burst as well, and Bone Mare on 7.
So what about Blessing's Redemption?
That's my first plan, but let's look if there's something better. Can Alchemist our guy trade? That kills it, that's bad.
Stunhill Rock Troll might also be something.
Yeah. No, that's really bad. Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah.
I think it's Blessing, because otherwise we also have to use the weapon for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
The time he's gonna Vile Spine this turn.
Yeah, like he's gonna play 1-drop, get a 3-3 patches and Vile Spine. It's kind of bad for us.
Well, he said it, and I think that CompLexity playing this game a bit slow is part of the reason they may be in trouble here, and Spike Rich Steed gets picked up for Misfits as well. The Redemption is a bit of a problem, though, so I'm curious how effectively they turn this back around.
Yeah, they don't know if it's potentially Redemption or Noble Sacrifice, and it's really hard to play around both of them at the same time. Almost impossible. And then you got to throw in potentially Getaway Kodo into the mix here. Makes it a little awkward.
Misfits is pretty happy with Getaway Kodo here.
Well, I was just talking about stuff where to sequence these attacks.
Step 1. Step 2.
Choose soon.
And step 3. So Rallying Blade charges, very impactful at this point. But a lot of the push potential has left CompLexity's hand. They are left with Bone Mare as basically a push potential, but they pick up another War Leader.
Yeah,
so now the board stays scary.
The way this game's been kind of panning out is CompLexity had a few opportunities to take more aggressive lines earlier on, like Coin Kings jamming face, and they chose to go for a more value-oriented line of play, probably because they have 2 Stonehill defenders and a Bone Mare in their hand, and they thought, hey, I got even Finja. Like, there's no way they're going to lose the value game. But because they're going for this value-oriented line, Misfits is really starting to generate a lot of value off the Prince Keleseth that they were able to play early on and Shadow Step and play again. The longer the game goes on, the more that buff matters. So it's slow playing it in this situation. I'm a little nervous for him. It plays to their hand better, but it plays to their opponent's hand better as well.
And they're going for the Stonehill right here as well. I mean, there were some great turns with Crazed Alchemist, with the Murloc War Leader. Because remember, if you Crazed Alchemist a target that has Murloc War Leader on it, that power buff flips over to health and it becomes permanent. And then it reapplies the power buff as well. Their main priority is getting the board clear to prevent Bone Mare in this spot. But now, Tar Creeper's drawn. Tar Creeper's huge at this point. Zeryl's coming down. Misfits is starting to turn the corner here.
Yeah, this... the Prince Keleseth buff is really starting to look strong. Earlier on in the game, when they weren't doing anything and they hadn't drawn too many cards from their deck with the buff, it was really weak. But now CompLexity is feeling the pressure. Let's hear what they have to say about it.
I wonder.
I don't see it.
Oh, we can flip our defender and trade weapon and that into the thingy.
And play 2 guys. That doesn't seem...
Defender, that seems bad.
Isn't it just Bone Mare?
Mystery, trade everything in face.
Just Bone Mare?
I think it's just Bone Mare. Like, the other players don't see...
Do we kill Xero too?
Can you?
Yeah, with weapon.
Oh, yeah. Like this. Okay.
Yeah, we should, right?
Hello? Time to go in.
Thinking.
Because we can Bone Mare. We can't Bone Mare Leroy next turn, but we can Leroy Steed.
Leroy Steed.
I mean, we lose to Tyrion, right? But it's inevitable. I think we have to do it, right?
Just play 2 damage in Bone Mare.
So
You think?
Yeah, Bone Mare.
Go face. No.
How much damage do we have? It's 10.
We have 21. Turn 10, right? No, because we can't play it. We have coin in the deck. Do we poke? No. Doesn't change the maths, right?
Just keep it there. Keep.
Let's get
Brilliant.
Yeah, but we're very healthy.
Yeah, we should Grim Streets.
Yeah.
You pay, I protect.
I wonder.
Trade with Leroy, or?
I think so, but this just sucks, right?
I also think so.
You have to trade with Leroy, right?
Yeah.
Do we kill the 1/1, right?
Yeah.
And hero power pass.
Well, backstab, but probably keep it, yeah. Yeah. You need to set up flower to draw.
plays we can do first.
So Stunhill Cobalt?
I think so.
Wait.
It is never Tareem here. We don't develop that much. Like we lose 2 2 on the guy, and then we gain a bit, but that's not worth. So I think you lead with Stonehill.
What if we? Yeah, we can go Stonehill. I don't even think we play Scalebane. I think we just go wide. What do you do against that?
Oh, we could Cobalt and Shield Barrier.
I kind of like that.
Shield Bearer, like it. I mean, I can see Tyrion as well closing it. We don't need Tyrion, right?
I like Shield Barrier because of Sunkeeper.
I like it as well.
Same. Because next turn we want a Sunkeeper.
Shield Bearer, or do we just go 2/2 Hero Power?
I like Cobalt.
I like Scalebane. He can only kill 1/5/5.
Yeah.
You shall not pass.
Giving up that Leroy and facing down all these taunts, I think, is spelling out the end here. This is way too much pressure for Misfits to handle.
Yeah, it looks like... I was a bit nervous for CompLexity earlier on in the game when they decided to go for this value-oriented game plan and kind of take it slow, use the coin for Finja, and just play to their hand and not really stress too much about the Prince Kelith's buff. It worked out for him. It definitely proved to be strong.
The Cold Blood backstab draw plus the bad opener.
Right.
He's just nailing the coffin.
It definitely didn't help Misfits, but I guess maybe the Prince Kelith's buff... Maybe Reddit's right. Maybe it is overhyped. Maybe it's not as strong as people say.
Well, you do still need to draw minions.
That's true to make it work. But, I wonder. Yeah, because they got +2/+2 on every minion in their deck. And Misfits is still... They didn't get rushed down. They're still getting outvalued.
Mind you, though, their first minion that really did anything was turn 5.
Oh, yeah.
And it was into Finja.
And it was a 4/4. A 5-mana 4/4 is not great stat line.
Especially when he doesn't draw a card.
Yeah, it's no Azure Drake.
Trying desperately here, but there's Crazed Alchemist available. There's Sunkeeper Tarim available. So many answers available for CompLexity at this point. Wow. The embarrassment of riches here.
There's a lot of different ways I think they can win this game.
I want you to pick a way that they don't win this game.
Well, they could disconnect.
Earthquake or Tsunami or...
Tsunamis for meteors.
Ooh.
Aliens.
That deals 16 damage. Volcano only deals 15 though, so if you have 16 health, you can live through a Volcano.
I don't think anyone's got that much health. That's like more health than an Ancient of War.
Let me think.
Especially if you don't.
I think this is one of the great possible ways they win the game.
Yeah. Scalebane is something, Tyrion is something, Misfits' hand is high and dry. If that's not Deathwing, which it's not.
That would have been sweet if it was a Deathwing. But even if it's a Deathwing, they have the Sunkeeper Tarim. They set up for that. They played around the Deathwing. So what could have won him? Maybe a Yogg? Yogg could always win.
They only have like 3 spells here. Just 2 Pyro Blasts and a Shiv.
Piece of cake. Is there any way you can do it in less spells?
I think 3 is the least you can deal 21 with.
Really?
I want you to think of a spell that deals more than 10 damage to face.
So many options.
Well, there's got to be some combination of summoning things off of spells.
That's still 3 spells because you have to treachery it to the other side then. How?
You immediately were like
Bitter
Tide
guy,
Hydra.
Demon Wrath. Oh, you could Bitter Tide Treachery Volcano as well.
It's a nice 3-card combo.
Wait, if Yogg treacheries itself, do they get the spells?
I don't know. That could work.
They're trying their damnedest, but this is a sad South Sea deckhand. Get in there, little buddy. Try your best!
And now, not only do they have to worry about the board, but Ashbringer's going to be coming at him. And this is just lethal for CompLexity with the Sunkeeper Tarim buff here.
Bam. 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 Little BAM. And the final BAM. CompLexity 6-3 over Misfits. And they now advance to a 2-0 record in the Trinity Series. Backing up their win from Season 1, CompLexity is still looking like the team to beat.
Right. This was kind of the clash of the Titans here, I'd say. Misfits being one of the favorites to take the entire league. Came out really strong week 1. CompLexity, the reigning champions, coming out strong week 1 as expected and taking down Misfits, who I would have believed to be one of the strongest oppositions to the title in this season of the Trinity Series.
I would totally agree with you, but once again, Paladin plays a large role in a set. It's been doing that almost every single match in Trinity Series thus far.
I think it's the highest win rate deck in Trinity Series.
And if you wanted to know why Murloc War Leader had that health change to it, this is partially why. This is still a very formidable opponent.
Yeah, it's a very, very powerful deck. Paladin is up there with, like, it's just slightly weaker than, like, Priest, but maybe it's more worth a ban than Rogue or Druid. We have seen a lot of Rogues not get banned and not do too much work. We've seen a lot of Druids not get banned and not do too much work. But in almost every series, Paladin's been doing work. So, you know, this is only week 2. Maybe as the weeks continues, we'll see players start adjusting their bans.
Half the wins that CompLexity has are strictly from Paladin.
Yeah, people might start respecting Paladin a little bit more in future weeks to come.
And this is a lot of what we saw in Trinity Series Season 1, was anything Paladin at the time, with that big OTK swing with 10 mana, anything could happen to resummon all the Murlocs. That was a big force in the opening weeks. So G2 opened up Trinity Series with a 6-0 sweep with anything can happen.
Yeah, it just kind of went under the radar. And Murloc Paladin's kind of going under the radar right now with a similar effect. A lot of people, I think, are overestimating how much the nerf hurt the deck. And it's still a very formidable deck. It's no joke.
Yeah, it is a very, very strong deck indeed. Curves will do that, but big buffs will do that, and big value will do that as well. The deck pretty much has it all as long as you get a reasonable early start. Right,
it can kind of go in any direction, which is what makes it so strong and kind of hard to counter queue against. With wild cards in there like Finja that give you the chance to win bad matchups. We saw that actually demonstrated here today, where you know, Misfits had the counter deck. It's still available. They were able to play Evolved Shaman, one of the best performing decks against Murloc Paladin, and they even had Hungry Crabs teched into it. But just because of the power of Finja, CompLexity was able to sneak a win in an unfavorable.
And take a look at the standings to see where that puts this bracket as it lines up. Misfits drops to a 1-1 record now. Virtus Pro stands with an even record now with CompLexity. So big turnaround from them from the opening on Season 1 for Trinity Series, but CompLexity Gaming, keep your eye on those guys. They won last season, and 2-0 start here. Great start. Do have some more battle here today, though. Team Love You Lots still yet to play in this set. They're facing off against G2 Esports.
Yeah, they're trying to catch back up with the rest of the group there. Both of these teams, unfortunately for them, started out week 1 with a loss, and now they're trying to recover. Only one of them is going to be able to make it a 1-1. The other is unfortunately going to be at 0-2. Yeah. It is round robin, though, so no one is getting eliminated. All teams will play all teams, and the top 4 will cut away to the grand finals December 8th through 10th.
That's right, and it's a big thing to talk about here too, is if you want to see a particular matchup in the Trinity Series, if it hasn't happened yet, it's going to happen at some point. We have 7 weeks of play that will be taking place here as they go through that round-robin stage. And of course, as they come down to that final point, the tiebreaker mechanism is strictly their win rate. So taking some matches decisively could be important if you started out some of your matches fairly poor. So for this matchup coming up, you know, I look at Tempo Storm yesterday when it looked like they were completely down and out, but they brought it back to a 6-5 game score. If they pick up enough wins to tie the records for that 3rd, 4th spot, those extra wins from a match like that can really make a big impact as that season closes. So it's really important for these teams to have the right lineups built to make sure they're not losing decisively in that same manner as well.
You need to make sure you have the appropriate counters to be able to make sure that no one gets a runaway 6-0 sweep on you and destroys your tiebreakers for the rest of the season.
That's right. It sounds like we have Misfits on the line for an interview. It's going to be Tyler joining us. Congratulations on your big win this week. You came up against some different changes from Stan Sifka. How did you guys end up adapting after you saw some of his tech choices?
Yeah, first of all, thanks very much. I don't think that they played anything we didn't expect them to play. We kind of expect the Warlock, and we expected that Warrior deck. For us, the main point was if we got through that Warrior deck, then we were pretty confident to take the series.
Yeah, I think the Warrior deck was pretty drastically different. I heard you guys talking a lot about Stonehill Defender, and it was clear they built it to beat Mage. Talk to me a little bit about Paladin. Paladin has been dominant throughout Trinity Series thus far. Why is that deck being such a big force? Are people just seemingly ignoring it with their deck builds?
I don't know. Fincha the Ninja. He did all the work today.
Firebat, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Do you think because of the success of Paladin, not only in your game, but the previous week and the game yesterday, do you think Paladin might warrant a ban in the upcoming weeks?
It could, but I also think that people just didn't have the right decks to counter it. Like, you can try and counter it with Shaman, but if that fails, then at the end they just had nothing left, right? So I don't know. It's weird. I don't think it's that strong as we made it seem. And yeah, I actually don't know.
All right, well, you don't want to give up too much of your strategy, but I was just curious because it has seemed to be very strong, and it might be interesting to see how the metagame develops. But that's about all the time we have. Thank you for coming on for the interview, and good luck in the future weeks.
Thanks a lot.
Tyler, of course, a fairly recent addition to Team CompLexity. Super JJ was on the team in the last Trinity Series, but he's joining them at the start here. Of course, I do also want to mention that teams are allowed one permanent roster swap during the